Hello, everyone. Hello. Happy Sunday, I suppose. The Lord's Day, the day of rest. Okay. Uh, can everyone see here? Yep. Can everyone hear me? Just making sure. What do we got? Is this loud enough, Macy? I saw your comment. I kind of upped the volume a bit. Is this too loud? Is this not loud enough? What do we got? What do we got? Right, Alice. Hello, folks. We got, I think, is that Oz? We got Oz here. Who we got here? See here. We got Excellent. I'm very glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. It sounds okay. Let me see who we have here. We got Alice. Great. We have Alice. Hey, the old crew's here. All right. Big Braden is here. Hey, Big Braden. Big Braden and I love Lord of the Rings, and we were just reminiscing about how we need to get on watching that because it's been about a year since I've seen the whole thing, and that's a very long time for me. Macy, what are you cooking, Macy? I would love to know what you're cooking. Um, all right. I'm going to adjust the camera a little bit here. Let's see if I can a little bit that way. There we go. Hopefully that helps a little bit. Well, can you do the audio? Yep. Okay, I got that. Good, Macy. I hope that's good. Uh, Big Braden says, "Man, I'm attempting to grow my hair out, and it's currently this awkward length where it pokes my neck, and it's annoying." Oh my god, I feel you there. So it's actually kind of funny. When I was in high school, okay, I grew a beard very, very fast. Okay, and when I was in high school, it was a Catholic high school, so they had rules regarding, make sure you don't have any beard showing. All right, so I would shave in the morning and then by the end of the day, I would have like a 5 o'clock shadow. So some of the hair would already, you would already start seeing a little bit of hair on my face, and I would get in trouble for it. And I'd be like, "Well, what do you want me to do? You want me to bring a razor into the school because I don't know how to get rid of it." So yeah. Who else we got here? We got Big Brain. Sir Bartholomew, thank you for the super chat already. Waking and baking this fine morning, Sir Bartholomew. I was actually considering doing that maybe a little bit later in the live stream. Not on live stream, but it is a Sunday after all. We might as well have a little fun, right? But then I'd probably just start rambling or staring off into the abyss on live stream. Um, Glad to see you here, Sir Bartholomew. Macy here. I made a meal prep plan for the rest of the year, 2 weeks at a time. Meal A on MT. Hey, that is a great idea, Macy. Everyone should, take Macy's suggestion there. That's fantastic. Yeah, have it all planned out. You just ran to the dispensary last night, Big Braden. Hope you got some good stuff there. I hope you got some good stuff. Are you more of an edible guy or, the traditional stuff? Um, okay. So, folks, we only have a few people here so far. We got 8 concurrent viewers. Apparently, that's what it says on my screen. We'll wait a few more minutes, see if anyone else comes in, and then today we're going to have kind of a chill stream. We had a kind of heavy stream yesterday talking about social control and propaganda in the United States, and it's a weekend. So I thought what we could do today is I will take the political compass test on stream. Um, we'll talk about some of the political things involved in that. Excuse me, God, I'm just disgusting today. Um, Hey, I don't blame Big Brain. I don't blame you, Big Brain. Macy Schroeder says actually got to the bottom of a vape. Hey, good job. Hey, good job, Macy. Good doing that. Okay. Um, yeah, I know those infused ones are really nice, Big Braden. Oh, good. We're getting more people in here. Welcome to the stream. Who's here? Do we got any? Please let us know if you. By the way, if you are watching and you would like to make a comment, you can subscribe to the channel. And you'll be able to make a comment. For those that are currently watching, I'd love to see who's here. If not the end of the world. Feel free just to watch. Um, uh, Patoli Pata Terrible. Oz, I believe that's Oz. Is that Oz? Or is that you, Oz? I burn lots of flour. Lots of. That's pretty awesome. Gotta love the flour. Classic, classic, classic. Um, Hey, Sir Bartholomew, don't blame you there. I do like a good that. I don't know if I can say it on stream, but yeah. Okay. Um, all right. So we again got a lot of good folks in here. It is excellent. You did confirm earlier. You know what's really enough? Their name reminds me of ancient Egyptian. I actually, weirdly enough, I know I'm very strange. Because I have a degree in anthropology, I learned some ancient Egyptian, and if you'd like me to, I'll just do it. To see if I can scare all of you. Ancient Egyptian has a very interesting uh sound to it. Okay, and we're not 100% sure how it sounded, but we've kind of we're not sure. Okay, because it's sort of it's not. They don't really talk the way they used to. But I'll say a few words for you here. This is actually a prayer, like an ancient Egyptian prayer. Okay, see if I can get it. You can see it's kind of hard to speak. Aun au ku mes ta'amuk kamuk matsuten tr utef ma'atu apu at ku apu at smet apu mtu mtr anuk aru. Yeah, it's kind of a fun language, right? A lot of I can't even do it. There we go. I can kind of do it. Is it really, Oz? I didn't know that. That's amazing. Um, I know, I'm sorry. My Psy guy's here. Yes, walking into me sounding like I'm possessed by a demon. Yes, that was ancient Egyptian. That's an old prayer to Ra, one of the main gods. Um, uh, one of the main gods in the Egyptian pantheon. That was a prayer. So yes, that was a prayer to Ra, Amun Ra, who was sort of the head of the gods in the Egyptian pantheon. I know that was probably kind of shocking for folks. I'm so sorry. I promise I'm not possessed. Okay, I'm not speaking in tongues or whatever. But yes, okay. So that's what it reminds me of. Macy Schroeder says, "Oh my God, we used to sing a gypsy prayer in elementary choir from a published book. Probably my mom's time." Oh, really? That's really interesting. That's very interesting. Quite fascinating. Yeah, the Roma people, which in the United States, so this is actually interesting. So the word gypsy is it is sort of and this is not me criticizing you, Macy. In the United States, it's not that big of a deal to use the phrase gypsy. But if you're in Europe, it's sort of gypsy people in gypsies, or you say Roma folks in Europe do not really appreciate. The Long Beach Dragon is here. Hello, Long Beach Dragon. Oh, the whole crew is here. This is lovely. Um, but it's better to call the gypsies Roma because the word gypsy has sort of a negative connotation. But in the United States, it doesn't matter as much. There are very few Roma people here, but just an interesting side fact there. If you ever are in Europe, I'm sorry, you're right. Oz, it is the Romani, not the Roma. My apologize. Yeah, okay. The Romani people. So Hedonic Treadmill is back. I remember seeing you. Was it yesterday, Hedonic Treadmill? Um, and Hedonic Treadmill says, "Not sure about y'all, but I'm digging Gavin Newsom. Do I am very much agreeing with you there, Hedonic Treadmill. Again, we shouldn't do political surrender. I was actually kind of frustrated yesterday because if anyone knows who oh, what is her name? Nina Turner is. I really like Nina Turner. She was actually a Ohio State senator, really great progressive. She made a quote. She made a comment on Twitter yesterday, basically criticizing Gavin. You know what, folks? This stream is not going to go well. Okay, Gavin Newsom yesterday for his tactics, and I think she's completely wrong. I feel like, yeah, absolutely, absolutely, Oz. That do not obey in advance, and I think I said that in an earlier stream too. Do not lie down like a slug and let them walk all over you, for the sake of. Being not, being nice or whatever. In politics, you cannot do that. Um, uh, Long Beach Dragon, that's so interesting. I've been a lot of people have been telling me they haven't been getting the notifications. I'm not sure what's going on there, but maybe something. Probably I did something with the settings, or who knows. All right, folks. Yeah, no, I neither am I. Long Beach Dragon, not a Newsom fan, especially with you living in. By the way, Long Beach Dragon, I meant to ask you this: is your name related to John Iadarola show? I'm just curious because of all the people at TYT, I do love John Iadarola. I mean, I like a lot of them. I know there's some issues there, but I'm curious. Long Beach Dragon. I was thinking if that might be because of John. I thought so. Long Beach Dragon. No wonder. Okay, I saw the dragon part of the name. Um, Kaylee, welcome to the stream. She says, "What do you?" I assume you're a she. Okay. What do you think about the Texas school phone and name laws? You know what, Kaylee? I have not seen that. I will. I will look into that. So I can't comment on it now. But given that it is, I don't mean if anyone here is in Texas, I love the state, beautiful state and stuff. But if it is Texas, given what's been happening there, I'm guessing I do not like it. Um, Yeah, I totally agree. He is definitely the best. Alan W, welcome, Alan W. I was embarrassed because Alan W has been on Discord, and in my as I said, in my incompetence, I did not realize that the individual on Discord was indeed Alan. So hello, Alan, another one of our sort of originals at this point. Um, Okay. Uh, so I'll have to look into that, Kaylee, about the Texas stuff. Yeah. All right. Big Braden, boo. Big Braden says, boo, I Googled it and YouTube has strict rules with you. You can't show you consume it. Hey, don't worry. I would not show myself consuming it, but I would just do it off to the side. Though you'd probably all tell because my eyes would be bloodshot. Whatever the case, maybe later in the stream, I will partake of that. Okay. All right, folks. Did I miss anyone here? Did I miss any of our amazing comments here? Well, just as a reminder, folks, we have a five. As always, we have a five super chat goal. We've already gotten one from the amazing Bartholomew, and the if we get to five again, I'll put on the Jester hat. 10 Jester collar, and if we get to 15, I do have my makeup palette here. I will put on Jester makeup to complete the look and evolve into the final form of the Jester Pokemon. Okay. So if we do get those, that would be fantastic. As again, you all know I'm going to do some self promotion here. Still getting used to that. Thank you, Oz. Yes, please don't forget to like the stream. We got 9 likes on the stream. We got 19 viewers. Liking the stream is very helpful to me. It helps get the word out, get more people in here. If we, what was I? Oh, I completely lost. What was I about to say, folks? I don't even know. Oh, yes, self promotion. That's right. I need to do a little self promotion here. So, folks, if you'd like to, you can become a member on my YouTube channel. Click the join button. Um, if you hit the join button, you can, for as little as 99 cents a month, you can join, become a member, help support the channel. I've also now have a Patreon. I believe I have 4 members on the Patreon. For $5 a month, you can become a supporter. And I actually just posted today on there what I'm going to be, what those how those supporters help support me. I'm looking to upgrade some of my equipment and stuff. Same with the members. Your memberships are very helpful to me. I'm going to be using that to sort of get a better computer so that I can actually stream both on Twitch and YouTube Live. And there's some other equipment upgrades I would like to help improve the stream. So if you do become a supporter, it will be coming here directly to help improve all of yours experience. So please do that. Again, those who are watching but are not subscribed, you may subscribe. Just click the subscribe button. Ride the Skies is back. Hey, Ride the Skies. What do you think of Richard Wolff saying that we are extremely close to the fall? So, so I'm sorry, I should fully read that. What do you think of Richard Wolff saying that we are extremely close to the fall of the U.S. empire and that China will become the new empire? So, Ride the Sky. I should talk about this on stream sometime. So all empires fall. It does appear as though the American empire is in a state of terminal decline. Some empires fall faster than others, and China is certainly on the rise. Yes, I generally I would agree with his conclusion. I some of the specifics I may not agree so much on. I do think that China will likely become the next either China or India. At this point, more likely China will become sort of the new global superpower, but there is another option. The other option is that we have a multipolar world where there's more than one superpower. That's kind of where we're at right now. We're already starting to see a shift where it's a multipolar world. Before China sort of maybe started to rise, it was a unipolar world where there was only the United States. So we will see what happens. Big Braden says, Saul the post, are you just using a webcam from your laptop then? If so, it's pretty good quality. I am not. I'm using my cell phone actually, which is causing a lot of distress for the people in my life because my cell phone, I can't really talk to them or anything while I'm doing my live streams, which is why I would like to sort of purchase a separate camera. Also, it would be a higher quality thing, but you're right. I agree. Oh, thank you, W 2 point. Um, W, have you been on here before? Have you been here before? Thank you for the super chat. W says, W, I'm gonna have to get used to that. Thinking of George W. Bush. Okay, hey again, thoughts on Andrew Callaghan in Channel 5. Love what he's been doing. Now, folks, I know that Andrew Callahan, there was some drama around him, whatever. I don't really care. The point is he is a great journalist. He doesn't, I don't think, even have much experience in journalism, but he does that kind of raw journalism that I think is very good. Okay, I really appreciate Andrew Callahan. If anyone wants to go check out his content, it's at Channel 5 on YouTube. He's a really great creator. Yeah. I will say, I wish I had a little more of his bravery. He goes into a lot of situations where he's surrounded by people who I might not feel comfortable around. Yeah, great guy. Uh, Macy, I do not know who the Gorilla Girls are. Alan W., I laughed every time Trump says China is on the verge of collapsing. They're kicking our ass in basically every. Yeah, Alan, that has been a tradition for over the past like 20 years or so. I swear, every year, excuse me, some person comes out and says China will be collapsing in the next few months, and it never happens. Okay, because that is a yeah. um, of course, Alan. Of course, Alan. Alan says, "I'm not saying I agree with everything China does." Oh, I know, Alan. I know, and neither do I. Okay, I'm not a fan of any authoritarian state, um, and yeah, especially one who is currently doing who has people in concentration camps, the Uyghur Muslims, and cracks down heavily on its own population. Although I should amend a little bit here. The United States has more people in prison than China does, even though it has a much larger population. That being said, I'm not a fan of the Chinese government. Not a fan of the party, as they call it in China. Okay. Let me see what else we got here. Oz, that's a good point. Oz says, I think the EU could collectively be caused a good make a good poll. Yeah, especially recently, they've been building up sort of their collective ability for a bunch of things. So that could be another pole. Yeah. And, so we could have like a tripolar world. Um, I don't know if I would. This is debatable. I don't know if I'd mix Russia as one of those poles. They have been shown themselves to be sort of a medium power at this point, but Real Life Cat DJ, welcome. Real Life Cat DJ, so glad to see you here. I already another one of the originals, folks. Real Life Cat DJ, I already spent the past decade learning English, and now it's about to become obsolete. What's your primary language? What's your first language? Real Life Cat DJ. I think I know, but I'm just curious to see if you would tell us in chat if you're comfortable with that. Yeah, you're right. It is about English may start to become a bit more obsolete with the rise of Chinese, Mandarin Chinese, etc. W 2.0. He literally just got out there. Yeah, he is amazing. You're right, W. He is amazing. How he just did that and started doing it. Um, Macy says Andrew is on my wall of motivational women. I get that. Yeah, Alice say I really like him too. Okay. I'm feeling it there. I would be scared to go to Surges. Now, folks, maybe at some future live stream, I'll tell you I have interviewed fascists before for academic reasons, but those were controlled environments. But still, yeah, all gas, no brakes. Oh, did he, Macy? Okay, yeah, that's the name of his channel where he goes and interviews folks. Queen says Trump 2028. Queen, please stay in the stream. All right, I know I don't want you to feel that you're not welcome here. You may be the first Trump supporter we've had in here who. I would like to see some Trump supporters here. I know not everyone in chat may agree with that, but I don't blame you. But as long as we all remain respectful and such, it's important for us to understand each other and why we think the way we do. Okay, and maybe we can learn something from each other. Okay. Okay. Sir Bartholomew says he's a chill guy. Can't lie. Yeah, he is. Anyone here seeing C5 on tour? Um, I'm not sure who C5 is. Who's C5? Maybe I should know. Macy's okay. No, Long Beach Dragon. I'm sorry. If I said that U.S. has a larger population than China, no. China has a far larger population than the United States. I think they have something like what 3 times the population, probably more than that, than the United States, and yet we still have more people in prison than they do. Um, uh, Alice, say, how did a Trumper find us here? Probably just browsing around, I'm guessing. Um, Okay, we got Big Braid in Long Beach Dragon, more imprisoned people than in China. Yep. Okay. Who's modding today? Oh, you know what, folks? I did not assign mods. Would anyone like to volunteer? Please let me know in chat. I would like to actually make sure to add some mods just in case we get swamped again by a bunch of, Nazis. Okay. Um, okay. I assumed so, real life cat DJ Arabic. Okay. Well, salam to you. Um, I know. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, Oz. Yeah, it has shown its weakness. Uh, okay, very good, Big Brain. I will add you as a mod. Let me do that real fast here. Um, I'm gonna give you add as a moderator. Okay, there you go. Thank you, Big Braden, for doing that. Did I actually just appoint the wrong person? I think I did. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Okay, let me try this again. Um, did that do it? There we go. Sorry, W. I made you a moderator. I hope you. I'm going to remove you as a moderator. My apologies. Okay. Uh, are the Nazis in the room with us now, Queen? I do know there are none. Okay, none that I'm aware of. All right. Yeah, but Queen, literally, well, I'm not even joking, Queen. Yeah, a couple days ago, we had a bunch of people coming into stream, and their usernames were literally the names of like top Nazi officials from the Third Reich. So we're not. We're not like claiming that, people that disagree with us on that way are Nazis, but we literally had a raid from that queen, so that's what I'm referring to. Uh, um, okay, thank you, Macy, for the super chat. Is Queen for real, not a bot? Well, I don't know. Queen might be a bot. Well, we will find out though, and if she is, well, then we'll kick her out of the chat. Um, uh, W. Okay, no worries. All hail King Braden. I totally agree. Braden is an amazing person. I think I've talked about this before. Um, yeah. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, W. I completely missed your super chat. Thank you so much for that super chat. That is one of the biggest super chats I've ever gotten. W says, "Screw it. I'm going for the double super chat. I commented the other day on your got fired video. I was the guy who suggested you chat with Mr. Beat. If you can. Would love a new generation of education. W, I would love to chat with Mr. B. I highly respect him. He does a lot of really good work on YouTube with his lessons and such. I think I may be too small of a channel at this point to for Mr. B to want to do that. But if anyone knows how to reach out to him, please let me know. I could do some research into it. I would love to do something with Mr. B. Absolutely. Thank you again for that super chat. Folks, we just need one more super chat, and I'll put on the Jester hat to start completing the Jester look here. Uh, let's see here. Winter Linda's here. Hello, Winter Linda. Another one of our sort of originals here. It might be a bot, Oz. We'll see. Uh, okay, here we go. All thanks. Queen says, I don't. Let's see here, Queen. I don't think you should have been fired from your job, but I think you're hypocritical for complaining about it because you advocated for the fascist from Jubilee to get fired. Queen, I'm afraid to say that's not true. I simply said I didn't mind him being fired after he was fired. But yeah, I mean, no, I would say I'm not being hypocritical on that. Um, so, uh, hey, you, hey, what if you sorry, I'm trying to read your username name, LIAMB2179. Welcome to the live stream. Hey, YouTube just recommended me to your channel. Love the message. How familiar are you with the streaming space? Thoughts on Hassan Piker? I am very familiar with a lot of the sort of the big lefty YouTubers. Um, I'm just going to call you L. I'm sorry. But yeah, and I like Hassan. I like Hassan a lot. I have complaints about everyone on YouTube. Again, I'm a teacher, I am an academic, I'm always nitpicking these things. I'm sure whenever I watch my live streams, I will go back and watch them just to see what I can improve. I will notice things that I don't like about my live streams. Overall, I think Hassan has a good message. I could nitpick about some things, but yeah, I like Hassan. Generally, I think he does good work, especially in his advocacy for Palestine, overall. And folks, we have already made it to our goal here. Thank you, Hamina, for the $10 super chat. Really, thank you. I will now, folks, I will put on the jester hat, as is tradition. Okay. All right, and we're getting closer, folks. Once we get to, I'm going to set a new goal here. If we get 5 more super chats, I will put on the jester collar, and then if we get 5 more after that, I will put on the jester makeup. All right, so here we go. Collar, jester collar. All right. Okay. Um, all right. So let's see here. Thank you, thank you, folks, for all the defense you're putting up for me here in chat. Um, Macy, I will need to look into teacher off duty. I don't think I've ever seen that individual. I'll take a look at that. And folks, I've been feeling bad because I keep telling people in chat I will look up things, and then by the end of the stream, I completely forget. So I one of these days I will make a. I will have a list in front of me or something to remind myself. Again, thank you, Hamina, for that super chat. Um, Okay, Matt Saigai. Hey, Matt Saigai, I agree with you. Okay, Matt Saigai says advocating for fascists to be fired isn't an entirely bad thing. I mean, they don't care for the rights of others in discourse, so they really shouldn't complain. Hey, I agree with you, Matt. And as a matter of fact, I wasn't trying to make the argument that it would be bad if I had suggested that he be fired. I'm simply stating the fact that I did not advocate for him to be fired. I was okay. I only found out about it afterwards, and I was like, oh yeah, I don't mind that he was fired. So, yeah. Um, okay. Uh, so, correct, Macy. We will not participate in dehumanization. Yes, and Oz, I'm not going to say that out loud, but totally agree. Um, yeah, Sir Bartholomew, when you see fellow man as animals, you lose your humanity 100%. And folks, one time I'm going to do a live stream where I talk about slavery in the United States. And it is not an exaggeration to say that slavery in the United States could best be defined as when you turn people into livestock and treat them like livestock. Quite literally, Black American slaves would be branded. They would oftentimes be forced to wear bells around their necks like cattle. Um, I don't want to. This is supposed to be a chill stream, so I don't want to, make anyone too depressed here. But yeah, so dehumanization is one of the worst things people can do to each other. Um, and we can even talk about how the Nazis used dehumanizing language. Okay, L again. I can't really pronounce your name here. Says, do you have any thoughts on social media figures who are ostensibly on the left but don't stand up for Palestine? People like Destiny. Destiny makes me want to vomit whenever I see clips of Destiny. That is one person I have no problem speaking out against. I think Destiny is disgusting. His defense of Israel is horrific and disgusting. I don't know what else to say about it. He's also had a lot of other takes that I find rather repulsive. Um, and yeah, not a fan of Destiny at all. Okay, so I know, folks. I always say I don't want to get involved in the left drama stuff. I would hardly call Destiny left. But anyway, yeah, not a fan of Destiny. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, big brain. I would not call Destiny the left. Okay. Um, okay. Uh, who else we got in here? We got yeah, Alan. I wanted to talk about that, Alan. It was Alan says, have you seen that we might invade South America? We're going to destabilize another region. Yeah, though I will say, Alan, I don't. We already have massively destabilized South America. Maybe I'll do a stream sometime where I talk about American empire and all the interventions we've done in South America, which have largely destroyed those countries. If anyone is interested, look up the Monroe Doctrine. I'll put it in chat. It's this Sorry, it's this idea in American foreign policy that South America is part of the American empire and ought to be controlled by it, and it's been kind of a guiding principle of our foreign policy. Um, but yes, there was some information that came out that the Trump administration was literally is planning has plans in place to invade Mexico. Um, Monroe Doctrine. Okay. Yeah, we shaking my head. Okay, shaking my head. Horrible. Okay. Uh, Yeah, Oz. Oz, you are spitting fire today. I love this. The tolerance paradox is solved by realizing that tolerance is a social contract that covers all until they break the contract. And Oz, I'm going to reinforce what you're saying here. I've said this before on stream. One of the reasons Nazis are able to take, or fascists are able to take power, is because oftentimes the left, parts of the left, and like the centrist folks are unwilling to engage in the same tactics and stuff, and are unwilling to engage in I guess to say politically strong tactics and things like that. And yeah, so if one side is breaking that contract, the other side has to break that contract. Um, I know Machiavelli. For people who know who Machiavelli is, it might not be the best person to refer to in many things, but he made some good points about that sort of thing. Okay, just something to think about. It is W. Okay, thank you, W, for that. I will remember that. Oh, I gotcha. W 2.0. Oh, I'm a fool. That's a good username. Okay, yeah, W 2.0. Absolutely. Okay, we definitely great war criminal George W. Bush, also a complete moron. If Winter Linda's here, do we remember when George W. Bush went to Germany and Angela Merkel was sitting there in her chair, and George W. Bush, in his sort of homey Texas manner, comes up behind her and starts trying to massage her back. And it's a great clip. I recommend people look it up. And Angela Merkel's reaction was priceless. George W. Bush, not too bright. Okay. Um, yes, Oz again, still spitting fire here, Oz. You're right to swing your fist ends at the tip of my nose. I believe that was a Benjamin Franklin quote. Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, oh gosh, so many good chats here. Is Doja Cat here? Doja Cat. No, I don't know why I said that. Okay. Big Braden. Yeah, I don't. You're right, Big Braden. I don't think Destiny is a left. He's a liberal. But a particularly horrific liberal. Okay, in the things he says. Not a fan of anyone who's pro genocide. So disgusting how he. If everyone's interested, you should go watch his debate when he debates. Oh, who did he debate? He debated. Oh, he was on this debate where he was debating Israel, and was just crushed by Norman Finkelstein. He was debating Norman Finkelstein. Norman Finkelstein crushed him because Destiny really doesn't know what he's talking about. Um, okay, yeah, Matt Side guy, raise the fist, please. Uh, Oz says I'm moving to South America soon. Gonna try. I would try to pronounce that. I don't want to embarrass myself, but Oy, Oyaja? I'm sorry. Gonna try and move to the front lines and help out. Oz, you are my hero, okay, in more ways than one, as I think you probably know by now from what I've learned of you. Um, yes, Sir Bartholomew, we are getting closer and closer to Cyberpunk. Okay. Yeah, absolutely, Jay Shadow. Absolutely. Okay. Oof, we got so many good comments. I'm trying to get through all these here, folks. Just a reminder, folks, we have five. If we get five more super chats, I'll put on the collar. If you're watching the stream today and you cannot chat, you can chat by subscribing. There'll be a 5-minute timer on that. Just try to prevent people, from bots and stuff. But you will be able to chat. Please like the stream, folks. We have 18 likes on the channel, and there are 30 some people viewing. If you don't mind, like the stream. That'll help get out the message more. If you'd like to support the channel monetarily, you can become a member on the page. Okay. Uh, The Big Braden, that's not an exaggeration. The U.S. does have plans to invade every country. Most militaries do develop plans for any contingency. Of course, it doesn't mean they'll do it, but in this case with Mexico, it's been openly talked about as something that might happen soon. Winterlinde, apropos, dehumanizing, like great use of apropos, Winterlinde. I'm not trying to discriminate against you because you're German, but a lot of people who English is not their first language, I found that they have trouble using that correctly. So great job. Dehumanizing language is uh, yes, it is. Alien is just another word for foreigner, or is it like with the German background, understand it, a non-human out of space? So it means both in English. It has two meanings. One, what is that called? It's a homonym, so it can mean either a like extraterrestrial, like a something from outer space, and it could mean someone who is foreign to your country. Um, Absolutely, Oz. Gosh, Oz, geez. Oz says encourage the growth of liberal and social democracy and the need to unify, collaborate, and collectively demand 100%, 110%, really. Um, okay. Uh, Hey, Alan, I am right with you there. Alan says, I know we're empathetic people, but the left is too nice to the right, in my opinion. 100%, Alan. It's an ongoing issue. I am not, we need to get back to that sort of, that more aggressive left that used to exist and has existed in other countries. Because if people are not willing to fight for what they believe in, then what's the point of, and I feel like a lot of left wing folks, I love the empathy there, but you can be empathetic and, um, aggressive about it, if you know what I mean. Okay. Um, Matt Saigai, the audacity to call themselves land of the free and the beacon of democracy. Yeah, it's insane. Matt Saigai, it is an ongoing, um, yeah. And remember, we're the pillar of democracy, the source of all freedom. Well, yeah, well, but we love overthrowing democratically elected governments and such all over the place. And we're basically an oligarchy. Yeah, liberals base Big Braden. That is why. So Big Braden says liberals seem to be very incapable of fighting fascism historically. You're 100% right, Big Braden. And that's why That's why I always advocate at the end of my screen. We cannot stick in the center. Okay, the way to fight fascism is to. I don't want to go into it now because I'm sure you all know what I'll say, but we need to. You need to be left. Okay. Um, that I now I will say I can actually imagine scenarios where liberals do fight fascism, but it seems to be almost it would seem to be out of character because sort of the nature of liberalism is that they are yeah, they like to stick to not being too aggressive. I could see a situation where we have like militant, and not militant as in like violent, because I would never advocate for that. Okay, but I mean militant as in like aggressive and how they combat it. All right. Yeah, exactly, Winterlinde. She was shuddering when W touched her. Long Beach Dragon W may have been aloof, but Trump is as bright as a light bulb in his statewide blackout during the hurricane. Oof. Yeah, that is accurate. I wish Bruh Moment was in here, because oh no, I think Bruh Moment is in here. But regardless, because Bruh Moment might experience what it's like with one of these hurricanes soon. But yeah, but Trump not very not bright. Okay, now, there are in some ways that he knows how to do things, but just one of the dumbest people I've ever seen in office anywhere. Um, yeah, Grinny, exactly, Winterlinde. I don't know, Big Braden. Did Destiny get suspended for something having to do with Gaza? I hope he did. Okay. All right, folks. All right, I'm just reading through here. Real life Cathy J. The Jubilee guy has no interest in participating in society, which is vastly situation. Yes, if these two were your coworkers, one is throwing snopples at you and the other is just smelling. Yeah, that is accurate. Real life Cathy J. Yeah, Big Brain, and you. I couldn't agree with you more. Big Brain, as always, knowing a lot about history and such. Yeah, if America hasn't done enough to Mexico, 100%. Okay. That analogy does clear it up very well, Cat DJ. Okay, folks, this is great. We're having a lot of great chats here. I'm going to need to let's get into some content. I'll try to go through some more of these. Now, again, folks, I think I said this before. We're going to have a kind of a chill stream today. Yesterday, we kind of covered a it was sort of a what do I say, heavy topic talking about propaganda and social control in the United States. So today I'd really like to kind of do something a bit more relaxed, and it'll generate some great conversation though. Maybe it'll generate some lefty infighting here. Okay. And by the way, if you want to join our Discord channel, okay, we have a Discord channel. You can find the link to it in the description below this video, and there is a channel on there called Lefty Infighting. I think it's still there. I might need to re-add it, but so if you want to fight with your fellow lefties, like we are very prone to do, okay? Um, okay, Big Braden, are you serious? Did he platformed Nick Fuentes? Yes, yeah, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised he platformed Nick Fuentes. Destiny is a moron, really just a horrible actor, and his community, from what I know, is also very destructive. Okay, I just don't, not a fan at all. And hey, I probably will get rated at some point because of that. I don't give a shit. Okay. All right, folks. Again, folks, you're gonna see me vape on stream. I'm gonna say this again. Do not vape. Vaping is very bad for you. Okay. I know most of you are probably adults, but my lungs are screaming out for relief. Okay, so please don't vape. All right. Okay, so let's get to some content here, folks. What we're gonna do today, I'm gonna take several people asked me to take the political compass test, so I'm gonna do that. Okay. Um, eh, so let's see how this goes. Again, I might be prompting some lefty infighting here. I'm all for it. Please yell at me all you want. Okay. I suspect I will. I typically end up in the lower left quadrant, in the libertarian socialist quadrant, or I like to call it liberal socialism. Libertarian socialism works too. Um, but I know that from what I've seen of people posting on the Discord, I might be a little bit to the right of them. And so don't kill me, and I'll explain why. I do think some of the questions in the political compass are pretty badly phrased. I think we can all agree to that. So I will do my best here. I will also let me make the screen bigger so we can all talk about these questions while I'm answering them. All right. So, and again, folks, if you want to take the political compass test, you can find it online. And I will say too, there's no real good political compass test because the political spectrum is a tool that academics use. It's not scientific. There are different views on what constitutes an accurate political compass. It's really more just a tool to help sort of gauge where people are relative to each other. Okay, so let's take a look here. I'm going to go back to let me see what we got here in the chat again, folks. We do have if we get 5 more super chats, I'll put on the collar. And yeah, pitchforks ready exactly. If we get 5 more super chats, I'll put on the collar. If we get 5 more after that, I'll put on some Jester makeup to complete the look. And let's see what we got here. Okay, so let me, I don't know. Can everyone see the questions up here? Should I make it a little bigger? I'll make it a little bigger for everyone. I feel like it's kind of hard to see. Is that good? Can we all see it somewhat? How's that? That good, folks? Someone verify. I know we all have different sight and such like that, but can you see it pretty well up here? I just want to make sure. Um, okay, I'll start. This first question here, let's take a look. If economic globalization is inevitable, it should primarily serve humanity rather than the interest of transnational corporations. Okay, well, that's obvious, right? Strongly agree, right? I'm a humanist. Things should serve humanity. Thank you, Jen Clark. Thank you very much for telling me that. Welcome to the stream, Jen Clark. Glad to see you here. So yeah, okay, I definitely agree with that. If anyone doesn't agree with that, get out of the stream. No, I'm kidding. Okay, so I think we all agree that globalization, which is sort of the increasing interconnectedness of everyone in the world, should benefit everyone, right? It shouldn't benefit the wealthiest people, which the last time I checked, by the way, according to Oxfam, there's something like 80 people. I don't quote me on this. I don't know the exact number. Something like 80 people in the world control as much wealth as the bottom 50% of all people in the world. I'll say that again, just to emphasize. Something like 80 people, might be a little more, might be a little less, control as much wealth as the poorest 50% of the globe. Anyway, um, No, Alice, you're right. This one is sort of surface. This one is one of the more in-depth ones, though, because it's longer than a lot of them. Okay, so let's go to this next one here. All right, now this one might get me in trouble. All right, so let's see here. Please yell at me in chat. Okay, if you'd like. The question is, I'd always support my country, whether it was right or wrong. No, I'm sorry. This one won't get me in trouble. I don't know why I said that. That must be a different question I'm thinking of. Oof, okay. So no, yep, strongly disagree. Okay. No. If the country's wrong, not supporting it, strongly disagree. Right. Okay. I hope we can all sort of agree with that. All right, this is the one that might get me in trouble. Here it is. Okay. Oh, that's a good point, Matt Saigai. Brilliant idea. Okay, let's gauge the audience here. So I'm going to put a poll in here. So for the first question here, I'm not going to write out the whole question. I'll just put question. Let's just say question. This question I'm on, which is what, question 3. There's no numbers here. So we're on question 3. So for question 3, folks, what do you all think? Question 3. Let me add a few options here to the. Okay. Uh, okay. And I'm not going to add them all just because it'll take forever, but I'll do agree, disagree. What do we all think here? Okay. What do you all think? Do you think that agree, disagree? There we go. And go ahead. So, folks, so for question 3, the question 3, I now have started a poll. The question is, do you agree or disagree? No one chooses their country of birth, so it's foolish to be proud of it. Oh, okay, we got 50% saying agree. Thank you very much, Big Brain, for putting that in chat. Okay, we got mostly agree. Okay, okay, 56% agree. All right, so this okay. Well, I'm actually seeing a bit more variety here than I expected. Because I understand the alternate perspective of this. Okay, I got 62% that agree. Okay, well, folks, here, let me tell you. Yeah, so I kind of on your side here, Alan. So you know what my answer is, folks. I disagree. Now, the reason I disagree, and allow me to explain before I get slaughtered by the lefty audience here. Okay. Uh, yeah, what if you're born into a country that does like, do really good things? Okay. I'm not saying that. So, for example, right? If I were born into yeah, I'll say it's a bit too it is very nuanced, I agree, okay? If I so, like, for example, I think it's okay to be proud of the country you're born into if the country's doing things that you like or that are just and good for humanity, right? So I'm gonna say I disagree. I definitely don't strongly disagree. I don't think people should automatically be proud of it, because we don't choose where we're born, but I will say I'm proud of some countries. Uh Okay, so it is too nuanced. I totally agree. Okay, these why these tests are not perfect. Okay, so I'm going to disagree with that. Let's go on here to the next question here. Oh, folks, I'm not even going to put this in chat. I think we all agree with this. Okay, I mean, not agree with it. You see what I mean? Okay, we're all going to answer the same on this. I would hope. Okay, our race has many superior qualities compared with other races. Yeah, no, strongly disagree. Race is nonsense. Okay. The whole concept of race is invented. It is nonsense. If you want to talk biologically, which I don't even want to, but I will, there are more genetic differences between two people of the same race than there are between people of different races. Okay. So there's no biological difference. It's a tiny, 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 tiny biological difference. There's more biological differences between two people of the same race than there are between races. Most racial concepts are completely invented. Okay. I can give you plenty of examples in American history, like the Irish didn't used to be viewed as white. Like it's nonsense. Okay. So no, our race, whatever that means, race is a fake concept. Okay. Um, Alice, I like that idea. I can be proud, but I want it to be better. Okay. This one, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So, The oh, geez. Okay, I'm gonna see. Yeah, correct. It is a social construct. Races. I think that one's probably to sort of get the fascists out of the woodwork. So this one, I would say I strongly disagree. Now, well, God, this is hard. Okay. Uh, I would say I slightly disagree. It depends, right? If so, I'll say I disagree because just because someone is an enemy of your same enemy doesn't mean you have to. No, I do strongly disagree. So yeah, I'll do that. Okay. Yeah, we'll do that. That one's a bit, we'll do that. Okay, here we go. Military action that defies international law is sometimes justified. Strongly disagree. I love international law. I wish there was a way of enforcing it. Okay. Um, yeah, we talked about just war theory. I feel that if people had followed international law, we'd be saved a lot of suffering and pain in the world. I don't think military action outside of international law is ever justified. And yeah, okay. If I haven't made that clear in past streams, what Israel is doing is a crime. It literally is against international law. What Russia did is a crime. It's against international law. What America did in Iraq is a crime. It's against international law. None of those things would have happened if people follow international law. Alas, they do not. But strongly disagree. It's never justified. Okay. Um, there is now a worrying fusion of information and entertainment. I'm going to disagree. I feel like you can merge entertainment and information. Like, for heck, what am I doing here, folks? Okay, merge entertainment and information while still um, getting good information across. Now, it can go overboard, but I'm going to disagree with that. Okay, next page. Let me look at the chat here, folks. I see we got some good comments. We got all these ads, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Let's see here. Well, again, folks, if we get 5 more super chats, I will put on the caller. Ooh, we got a lot of good super chats. I'm sorry, chats. Gosh, all these ads popping up. Oof. Okay. Um, uh, uh, God, there's been a lot of chats I've missed. Okay. Macy says, leave Mexico alone. Perhaps listen to her talk about the issues rather than saying, shoot it and shut yours. Yeah. Okay. 100%. Sir Bartholomew, Mexico should have taken up Germany's offer in World War One. Yeah, that's funny. Okay, if anyone wants to know what he's talking about, I'm sorry, Sir Bartholomew. I think you're a man. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Um, he's referring to the Zimmerman telegram, where Germany tried to get Mexico to attack the United States on their side during the war. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Sir Bartholomew. Okay. Okay, W says big braiding kinda like Batman's anagram contingency, secret policy. Yeah, okay. Um, okay, L here. Thoughts on Gavin Newsom's new strategy against Trump? Lamb, I or L, I highly support that. Okay, I think I've mentioned that. You can't, as a politician, I mean, when you're fighting fascists and stuff, you can't just lay down like a slug and let them walk all over you. You have to, if they're going to abuse the system, you need to do it too. Um, so yeah, I actually appreciate it. Not a fan of Newsom at all, but I do appreciate that one thing he does. In Long Beach Dragon, you may know more about this than me. Long Beach Dragon says, in my opinion, Newsom's strategy, while well intended, is likely going to backfire on him. Several progressive initiatives recently failed horribly. Yeah, that, and you know what? To be honest, Long Beach Dragon, that might be what he wants to have happen. Okay, it might be all a show, and he kind of knows it'll fail. So again, maybe I'm kind of jumping the gun. Probably shouldn't use that word on stream here, but yeah. Alan W. says, that's why I think the current political polarization is a good thing. We have a right wing fascist in office. Absolutely. We should be polarized. The Republican Party is a far right party. Alan, I 100% agree. That's why, and that always happens during times of fascism. Okay. As you see a lot of polarization, which is why I'm continuously telling you all over and over again, being in the center does not work during a fascist regime. And people in the center should realize that there are 2 options. One, fascism, and under a fascist regime, there are 2 options. One, fascism. 2, major reforms, not this dumb as shit tinkering around the edges that the Democrats like to do. And that is oftentimes the death knell of a country, is that they will try to stick to that center when fascists take over. And by the way, folks, I'm not saying that because I'm a socialist. I don't care. I'm not expecting us to go all the way to the left in these reforms. I'm saying we need some major reforms. I'm not trying to go for the moon here. We just need some major reforms, okay? As much as I would like to go further, I'd be perfectly willing just to have, to keep the system as long as we make some major reforms to it, because that is much more important than fascism. Okay. And by the way, you can't continue going to the left if you're under the boot of a fascist. Okay. I know I got emotional when I talked about that, but uh, Big Braden says, I recently watched The Apprentice, the biopic on Trump's earlier life, and it was really good and disturbing. Yeah, I recommend it. Okay. Oh, Oh, is that true, Alice? Okay, well, whoever in this chat might have hurricanes coming their way. I'm an atheist, but I hope everyone, anyone who prays, please pray for them. Okay, it's my Midwest coming out. Still got to say we're going to pray, and of course, also take action to reduce the effects of climate change, because those are making those hurricanes much worse. And there's even another one now forming in the Atlantic. Brother, all of you. I love that reference. Yes. Today's stream is like when the teacher wheels in a TV for a movie. Yeah, absolutely. I remember those days. These days, most teachers have like a screen that comes down out of the wall. I will say though, speaking of that, when 9/11 happened, okay, I know I said it wouldn't be a deep stream, but it's kind of an interesting story. I was in school. I think I was in sixth grade or something when 9/11 happened, and my teacher left the room and came back in crying, and she then got us all up out of our chairs and we went to the gym. And while we were going to the gym, we passed the teachers' lounge. And in the teachers' lounge, they had rolled in one of those TVs. And on the TV, the first thing I saw as being a little child was an image of the two towers burning. And I witnessed someone coming out of that tower. I'm not going to say it on YouTube, but you see what I mean. And that image sticks in my head to this day. Okay, yeah, but this kind of brought back that memory. Pretty horrifying. Um, all right, Fuentes got banned. Thank you again for rating. Fuentes got banned for hateful conduct. So if you allow a banned person on your stream, yours gets banned too. Yeah, well, good. Okay. Um, No, Alice, don't take up vaping. I know you're joking, Alice. I love Alice. She always has the best comments. Okay, yes, yeah, yeah. No, please don't vape. I know you're all adults. I'm sorry. It's my inner teacher coming. I'm always concerned. There's someone 18 or younger than 18 watching that'll be influenced by that. Okay, bruh moment. It's funny. Okay. Yeah. All right. Pitchforks ready. All right. Let's see here. Okay. I'm going to go down a bit here. I know I'm skipping some of these things, folks. I apologize. I know there's a lot. I'm getting so many more chats. I don't believe in being proud about your country, to be honest. Matt Sci Guy, that is, I totally understand. That is a fair approach. Um, okay. Alan, yeah, I agree with that there. Yeah, Long Beach Dragon, I completely agree. There is a difference between being proud of one's nation, and then believing it's superior. That's the line between patriotism and nationalism. Nationalism is where you think your nation is the best. It's the only thing that should matter. And then, fascists are typically ultra nationalists, so they go even further with that. They think that's the only thing that matters. Yeah, and then a patriot is someone who is proud of their country and supports it, etc. I don't know if I'd fall in either of those camps, but I do think it could be. I mean, I guess I'm sometimes a patriot, but only if the United States is doing the correct things. I guess you could say I'm also a patriot for like Germany or Sweden or any of those places that do great things too. I don't know, but yeah, you're right, Macy. It does kind of erase the concept of ethnic minorities when we talk about those things. Um, Oh gosh, yeah. God, so many good chats. Alan W. talking about Tucker Carlson. Yeah, oh god, Tucker Carlson scares me. I feel like he might run for president one day. God help us all. Gotcha, Alice. I'm glad. Yeah. Okay, so folks, let's continue here. Again, we get 5 more future chats. I'll put on the collar. Okay, I think we all know who I'm going to answer this one. People are ultimately more divided by class than nationality. Strongly agree. Okay, people that are poor and workers everywhere are more, they have more in common than they don't. Okay, I know this is sort of a Marxist view of things. Yeah, and it is. Yeah. Okay, I agree we're divided more by class than nationalities. There's also, folks, a lot of transnational elites, people who are extremely wealthy, who have corporations and have business and stuff in multiple countries. Yeah, and there's been studies on this too about transnational elites and such. This next one, controlling inflation is more important than controlling unemployment. I disagree. I think unemployment is. I mean, I think we need to control unemployment more than inflation. This is more nuanced, though. This is kind of a dumb question because there are a lot of economic things, and inflation is bad too. But I think I get where they're going with this, so I'm going to say unemployment. This next one, because corporations cannot be trusted to voluntarily protect the environment, they require regulation. Absolutely, strongly agree. Heck, let's just get rid of them altogether and solve that problem. But anyway, yes, the literally corporations, their goal is profit. Obviously, they're actually legally obligated to only care about profit, and so courts are not going to protect the environment unless the people regulate them and make sure they don't destroy the environment. And unfortunately, the Trump administration has been massively dismantling. This has been going on for a while, but the EPA, all those environmental protection organizations, to allow corporations to loot and destroy the environment if they haven't already. No, guys, Big Brady, you're right. Okay, a lot of these questions are very badly phrased, and yeah, okay, and I know I overthink them. Okay, here we go. This is a very classic sort of Marxist question here. From each according to his ability to each according to his need is a fundamentally good idea. I'm going to strongly agree. Now, before people maybe think, oh, well, he's a communist. I don't know if I'd go that far with it. Okay, but I do think, generally speaking, okay, everyone should have what they need to survive, and more. Okay, they should have not what they need to survive. They should have what they need to thrive and be happy and healthy, and that everyone should be able to contribute what they can to society. Okay, so I do generally agree with that. Radon, hey, welcome back to the stream, Radon. Glad to see you here. Um, not much, Radon. We're just going through political compass tests. Just kind of having a chill stream. Okay. Big Braden says, here's the internationality. Internationality unites the human race. And now, comrades, come rally. Okay. Yes. Anyway, great song. Okay. Let's continue. Um, the freer the market, the freer the people. Strongly disagree. There is a tendency, especially amongst liberals, to think that like deregulating the economy and letting business owners be more free is equal to freedom. It is not, because yeah, it might increase the freedom for those people, but it can oppress everyone else. I do not believe that the freer the market, the freer the people. And yeah, that's my thought on the matter. And we have seen historically that when you have a very, 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 very free market, it just causes massive wealth inequality. Monopolies start growing. Yeah. Long Beach Dragon. Welcome to the club, comrade. Jazz Naz Gaming, welcome. Long Beach Dragon says, I just finished the test, and despite always seeing myself centrist, I'm in the dead center of the lower left quadrant. Long Beach Dragon, a lot of people have had that experience, okay? A lot of folks don't realize how left they are until they've kind of taken one of these tests. Welcome, comrade, okay? Join the revolution, okay? All right. Okay, let's continue here. Um, it's a sad reflection on our society that something as basic as drinking water is now a bottled, branded consumer product. Yeah, strongly disagree. Okay, I'm sorry. Strongly agree. Wow, that was a big mistake. Okay, yeah, it is ridiculous how everything that's called commodification, where you turn everything into a product to be bought or sold. Water, especially, should not be bought and sold, in my opinion. It should be freely available to everyone. Yeah. Okay. And I understand that we have a very bad system of water in the United States. Just look at Flint, Michigan, where they found tons of lead in the water. And that's because we don't spend enough on our infrastructure. And so that might lead people to buy some, water bottles and things like that. But we need to solve the problem of the water not being clean and stuff. We don't need to let some private tyrant corporation make money off selling people a vital need. Yes, scramble mind jumble. Great to see you here. You say there are so many different water brands, and for what? You got me there, scramble jumble. That's because, literally, folks. And we talked about Edward Bernays yesterday. A lot of times, different companies, the only thing that separates them, a lot of them will basically have the same product. So the only thing different between them is how they advertise it. I mean, look at different water companies like Aquafina, Dasani, Nestle, things like that. The only difference, and Fiji, the only real difference, there might be a few differences in like where the water comes from and stuff, but it's water. It's H2O. Okay. The difference is mainly how they advertise it differently. Yeah, Jazz Naz Gaming couldn't agree with you more. Everyone should be able to drink water from the tap. Yeah, and in Europe, you can, and there are places in America though where it may be dangerous to do so because we are not nearly as civilized as those other places in the world. You know, folks, when I use that term, I'm not fully being serious. I'm just making a point here. I feel like we should have clean water. We're one of the wealthiest countries in human history. We can afford to all have clean water coming out of our taps. Um, Thank you, Jazz Night Gaming. Yes, folks, please don't forget to like the video. And while we're on it, thank you for helping me promote there, Jazz Naz. Please, if you don't mind, if we get 5 more super chats, I will put on the collar. If you would like to become a member and help support the channel, you can click the join button beneath any of the videos on my channel. And for as little 99 cents a month, to become a member. Blah 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 blah. Ugh, I just keep seeing the ghost of Bernays in my head when I do this shit. But anyway, okay. Uh, yeah, but Winter, Big Braden. Oh, also you can join on Patreon if you'd like, $5 a month. Big Braden. Also, Canada has the most clean water within our borders than any other country. Yet most Indigenous reserves don't have access. Yeah, that's an ongoing issue in Canada with the First Nations people there. Yeah, continually abused. There's also a big problem in Canada with First Nations women, especially disappearing, literally just vanishing. Also, and the police not really having much of a. I don't know if it's. I don't know enough about it, but it appears they almost don't have the will to find them. That's the same issue here in the United States. A lot of First Nations people disappear and go missing, and then they're never found. A lot of other issues. Okay, let's continue. Land shouldn't be a commodity to be bought and sold. Oof. Okay. This is complicated. I mean, I know folks in chat may think it's not complicated. Radon Dewal, yeah, Radon, casual. I hope you react to popular political videos, which statistically bring in a lot of traffic. You definitely have the means to be big. Well, thank you very much. You're right. And I am still doing reactions to the political videos. It's been a slower. I've been doing it slower recently. I recently reacted to one with my dad. Hopefully, I will react to more. Some of them I may not react to with my dad. Do we think, if anyone, you don't have to answer this, but if anyone thinks, Chad, do you think, I suspect I wouldn't get as many views doing video reactions if my dad wasn't there. But I will do some with him. But I totally agree. Okay. I think I should do more of those. And I've gotten a lot of feedback about that. So thank you. Big Braden, really? There's literally a video of our former prime minister. Uh, Stephen Harper saying he doesn't think the missing women were worth federal resources. Yeah, definitely F that guy. That's disgusting. Okay, let's continue. Land shouldn't be a commodity to be bought and sold. So I agree. Okay. Now, I don't think I'm almost certain that'll never be accomplished in the United States, especially maybe sometime way, way, way far in the future, but I don't think land should be bought and sold. I feel like they should be owned. This is very communist to me. You know what? I'll actually just say agree because there's some nuance to this. Okay. It is regrettable that many personal fortunes are made by people who simply manipulate money and contribute nothing to their society. Strongly agree. 100% strongly agree. A lot of the wealthiest people, which is really annoying in like the United States and elsewhere in the world, by the way, the wealthy are often viewed as like, they're praised as being the ones that contribute the most and stuff. No, 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 no. They're the one, their workers are the ones that do the contributions. They profit off of it. And yeah, some of them built their businesses, whatever. Okay. So and this also includes people who just trade on the stock market, and like, because once you get wealthy, you can basically not work and you can just trade on the stock market for the rest of your life. So we are not going to be playing that game. I strongly agree that that's regrettable. Protectionism is sometimes necessary in trade. I strongly agree with that, especially if you're a developing country. One might need to develop your own industry. Now, this is not me defending Trump's tariffs, because those tariffs are willy-nilly and just kind of, they come, they go, they come, they go. They're used as punishment and such. But protectionism is, so about, for those who don't know, protectionism means like tariffs. And I do think that protectionism is sometimes necessary in trade. Okay. Now, hopefully someday, if we don't have nation states anymore, there will be no need for that. But right now, in the nation state order we're in, yeah. Real life cat DJ. I'm sure. Yeah, you guys probably would love to hear my dad's position on socialism. Maybe I'll do a video about that sometime. We'll do a reaction video. The only social responsibility of a company should be to deliver a profit to its shareholders. Strongly disagree. However, I mean, what do you expect? Okay, if that's the nature of one of these companies, which is what is under capitalism, you have the companies, their goal is to profit. That's what's going to happen. Okay, so maybe change the motive or change how that's structured, and that won't be an issue. You won't even have to worry about that. Bruh moment, you're absolutely right. Yep, you're absolutely right. Bruh moment says, again, Bruh moment knows history very well. I love how Trump's favorite president is McKinley, but doesn't understand that just about everyone during McKinley's presidency hated tariffs. Yeah, and he had to end up rescinding some of them, as I recall. Yeah, okay, because it's very bad. It can be very bad for average people, and that's why I don't support Trump's tariffs. You have to do it in a way that doesn't harm people. Okay, the rich are too highly taxed. What am I going to say here, folks? What am I going to say? Someone show me in chat what I'm going to say. Okay, I think it's three letters. I mean, three words. I'm going to read some of these comments while I wait for someone to tell you the three words I'm going to say. Okay, folks, once again, folks, if we got 5 more super chats, I'll put on the collar. If we get 10 more super chats, I will put on makeup to complete the Jester look. You can become a member if you'd like by going to my channel and click join. Let's see here. Everyone should be able to drink. Yeah, totally agree. Jazznaz Gaming, Winter Linda. Winter Linda says, I'm curious to see you take the Wallow Mat test. It has questions to help you decide which of the 20 plus political parties you want to vote for. Oh, that's fantastic. Were those German political parties, Winter Linda? Because I'd love to see that. I don't know where I would end up. I might end up with the Greens. I don't know. I'll have to see. Thank you, Jazznaz Gaming. Hey, Big Braden, I knew what you meant when you said, I'm ingenious. Okay. Hey, Macy Schroeder says, I'm here for dad. I'll get my dad back on here soon. We'll definitely be reacting to another video soon. Okay. Long Beach Dragon. I'm using the Pew Research test. I am an outsider left. This test is more in line with U.S. politics. Really? Is that so? Okay. I will. I'll take a look at that. What does that mean? Outsider left? Does that mean like fringe left or like non standard left, which would what still make you a lefty there, Long Beach Dragon? Maybe it's time to adopt that moniker, Long Beach Dragon. Maybe you're not a centrist. Okay, just saying. Just saying. Big Braden. Oh my God, that's terrible. Nothing wrong with socialism, 100%. I agree. Love that on live stream your dad said comrade. I know. Yeah, my dad has moved pretty significantly to the left for a while now. Yeah, yep. I know real life cat DJ. He did live through the Cold War, and I really respect my dad. He has a very open mind that it's a lot of folks don't. Okay, and so he's been able to sort of change his views on things. When I came out as gay, well, let's just put it this way: like he is very adaptable. Let's put it that way. Okay, and is able to take in information and sort of change his views. Yeah, this omen is so good. Definitely strong agreed. Yeah. Thank you, Matt Guy. Tax the rich. Tax them. Tax them, tax them, tax them. Oh my God. Okay, strongly agree. Tax the rich. Please tax the rich. Um, Radon says, if you react to anything related to India, like India's foreign political ongoings, you will get the biggest viewership crowd. Ooh, thank you, Radon. I will consider that. You know what? I would love to react to something about Modi, another disgusting human being, similar to Trump. Yeah, love to do that. Okay, just left of center, Long Beach Dragon. That's a really good idea, Radon. I think I'll do that. Thank you for the advice. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Strongly disagree. Strongly disagree. Oops. Okay. Yeah. Strongly disagree. The rich are definitely not too highly taxed. Okay. Okay. How dare you, Bruh Moment? Bruh Moment says revolt showing his his capitalist way. How dare you? Okay. Yeah. Is it Matt Saigai? Would you give me some more info on that? What do you mean by that? Is it's risky to react to Indian content? I am curious. Thank you, Alice. Yeah, I think my dad would really appreciate that. I'll tell him you said that. So what you're saying is your dad is actually Christian and not using his religion as a shield to be hateful. Yeah, he is. That's for sure. Okay, it can at Matt Saigai. Okay, that's fair. Though admittedly, Matt Saigai, I don't. I haven't told you all the stuff that's happened, given my stance on Israel. So I don't. Could it be more? Could I get more hate than that? I don't know, but that's a fair point. Okay. Yeah, I am going to definitely do that, Hamina. Okay, sometimes we should talk about Burkina Faso and in general modern African imperialism. Absolutely, it is still ongoing, folks. 100% Western Africa. I mean, all over Africa, there's still imperialism happening, especially from European American countries, and also China now. Yeah, Russia too. All right, folks. Sir Bartholomew, wait, just curious. You've got the chain breaker, but do you own a firearm? I'm not going to answer that question. Um, but let's put it this way. I feel pretty safe. Okay. Yeah, Matt Saigai. That's I can imagine that would happen. But is that not true of right wingers everywhere though? I mean, I'm getting a lot of very Zionist folks coming in and sending me emails and such. Okay. All right. So let's continue. Those with the ability to pay should have access to higher standards of medical care. Strongly disagree. Everyone should have the same access to high standards of medical care. For the Europeans in chat, for people in chat who don't live in America, we are uncivilized barbarians over here. We let our people die if they can't afford medical care. And if you're wealthier, you get better medical care and can afford more procedures and things like that. That is barbaric. I repeat that again. That is barbaric. Okay. So that is no, everyone should have the same access to medical care. I don't care how wealthy you are. Every life is equally as valuable. I don't think I need to explain that much. That's fair. Leaky Arsel, welcome to the stream. Okay. Again, folks, if we get 5 super chats here, I'll put on the collar. Again, don't vape. Okay. Okay, let's continue here. By the way, folks, when it comes to medical care, I actually have I'm one of my. I think I told you before. I have some. My teeth have always been an issue for me. I have I have some genetic stuff. I think with my teeth, and last night one of my teeth started really hurting, and because I'm an American, you can imagine what my first thoughts are. Oh shit. Am I going to be able to afford to go get that looked at? Should I schedule a dental appointment? Shall I wait till I either have a new job or am making enough money on YouTube? And right now it's hurting. Okay. So, like, I'm not trying to personalize this, but it's much worse for other people. If you have cancer or something, just a toothache, that's fine. That's nothing. But anyway, um, thank you, Macy. You can probably hypnotize me into not vaping anymore. All right, government should penalize businesses that mislead the public. Oh, strongly agree. I'm not even going to go into that. I think we all agree they should, like Trump did, his Trump University, Trump stakes, all that bullshit he did, and they definitely misleading the public. Also, some of the people he pardoned, including Steve Bannon, who were massively misleading the public, including his supporters, and he excused them. All right. London is here. Hello, London. Welcome in, London. London with the Spanish imperial flag there. um, all right. But don't worry, he's not going to be sending a fleet to England anytime soon or anything like that. Okay. Okay, a genuine free market requires restrictions on the ability of predator multinationals to create monopolies. Strongly agree. So we need to make sure companies don't form monopolies because that just increased costs for everyone. Uh, Thank you, Radon. Really, that's really kind of you. Radon says you should. You've been very kind to me, Radon. I really, really thank you. Radon says you should know that what you do is brave, and we are with you. People need to understand that having different opinions shouldn't result in hate. Man, keep it up. You will definitely make it big. Hey, thank you, Radon. Hopefully sooner rather than later. um, okay. Yeah, Winter Winterlinda, that's a great comment, okay? I don't know anything about psychology, but don't do this and then doing it. Isn't that sending mixed signals? Shh, don't tell anyone, Winterlinda. Yes, yes. Yes, yes, it is. Me smoking. Yeah, 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 okay. Um, Alan W., I'm not going to get into details, but a couple years ago, I woke up with an EMT over me. The person I was with told me that the first thing I said was, "How much is this going to cost?" I know I can be emotional sometimes, folks. That almost made my eyes well up. Okay, that do we see how ridiculous that is? That the first thought a person has after if they're in a medical emergency is, "Oh, is this going to cost me?" I mean, how barbaric are we? Unbelievable. Okay. All right. Okay, let's go on to the next one here. Next page here. Um, okay. Uh, All right. Abortion, when the woman's life is not threatened, should always be illegal. Strong disagree there, folks. It is a load of bullshit. Okay. The term "I'm pro-life," okay, is a load of bullshit. You know why? Because when women will there will always be women seeking abortions, right? It is known historically. So if you make it illegal, okay. So by the way, I'm not even addressing the moral aspects of this. I don't care. People should be allowed to get abortions. I don't think there's anything immoral about it. Okay, a fetus or an embryo is not the same as a human, in my opinion. It is a collection of cells. In some cases where you get and you terminate a pregnancy, you literally fewer cells are destroyed than when you take a shower. So I'm not okay. Who cares? But let's say there was sort of a moral qualm with this notion of abortion. Okay, when you ban abortion, you know what happens? Women die because women will still try to get abortions, and but they will do it outside of the care of a doctor or a specialist, and they will die because they are not trained to do that. Statistics have shown that time again. So if you say you're pro-life, well, I don't know what life you're pro. You're definitely not pro women's lives because they will die. If you want to kill women, hey, more power to you, I guess, right? But no, okay, it's ridiculous. Um, yeah. Oh, yeah, Alice. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, Alice. Yeah, they will oftentimes have to come back, and yeah. So it's ridiculous. It's okay. All right, we'll go on. And by the way, and one other thing here, folks, there has in his okay, so anthropology, right? There is only one way. Now there are other ways too, but the one way that is universally shown through multiple studies, there's only one way that has universally been shown to reduce poverty. And I'm not exaggerating. You can look it up. The one thing that will always reduce poverty is empowering women. If you give women control over their own reproductive cycles, they will be able to build their own lives. They will be able to, they won't have to take care of kids. So then they will be, or they'll be able to choose when they take care of kids. So they'll be able to work. They'll be able to do other things. They won't have to. So, one of the things now, folks, I know there are Catholics in chat. I hope you know my family is Catholic. I am an atheist, of course. I love Catholics, but I will say this, and this is going to be kind of, this is going to be kind of, this is going to be a spicy take here. I think Mother Teresa is an evil person. You know why? Because she was saying that she was basically anti-birth control, anti-abortion, anti all these things that would reduce poverty in India. In India, uh, the one place you don't want to prohibit that, empower women is India, and that was all she was about. She probably resulted in the death and poverty of lots of people because of that. Again, I know probably not popular to go after Mother Teresa. Not a fan of hers. Not to mention many of her clinics would basically weren't a lot of the nuns there weren't trained in medical things, so they would use needles that were not necessarily clean. They also sort of had this notion of being close to the end of life is similar to the suffering of Jesus, and therefore, it's not, it's best to help ease people into death, but it's sort of like a martyrdom. Okay, I probably shouldn't say this. I'm going to lose everyone, but yeah, not a fan of Mother Teresa. Okay. Anyway, and that's the same thing with the Catholic Church's actions in Africa, how they are more obsessed with like stopping the use of condoms and birth control and stuff like that instead of, uh, you know, anyway. Okay, let's continue. Okay, let's continue here. Macy Schroeder says, yeah, Goran, I hope I'm pronouncing your name. Welcome to the chat. Even the poorest European country has universal healthcare. Quality varies, but still 100%. And I want everyone to realize that. We are outliers. The United States is an outlier. We are one of the wealthiest countries in human history, and yet we let our people die because they don't have health insurance. If my rage isn't apparent, it should be. Okay. All right. Sorry, it's supposed to have a chill stream today. Chill stream. Let's continue. All authority should be questioned. Strongly agree. All right. Should all of it should be questioned. Um, the Lost Legacy, welcome to the chat. Absolutely. Lost Legacy says, um, we need to remove the middleman insurance companies. Absolutely. They're criminals, in my opinion. And at the same time, we need to either nationalize Big Pharma, highly support Lost Legacy. I suspect that won't happen because it's America, but highly support that idea. And at the same time, we either need to nationalize Big Pharma or reorganize it in a way where they can't price gouge. Exactly. At the very least, the Lost Legacy, we need the government to pass a law that allows them to negotiate drug prices. It's insane how the laws are written, where big pharma can choose the price they charge the government for drugs, and so they can charge whatever they want and make a massive profit while our tax dollars pay for those drugs. All right, I'm off my. Um, um, yeah, I know. Winterlinde, thank you. You say I think you gain people by being open about your opinions. Hey, it's one of the reasons it was kind of a blessing in disguise that I'm no longer employed because I can be more open about these things. All right, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. Ooh. Oh, my inner anti-fascist is coming out for this one. Hmm. Okay. I will say disagree. Now, if there was a middle option here, I'd say yes. Generally, I don't like cycles of violence where, one group someone does violence or does something to one group, um, and then the other group responds and it keeps going back and forth. In event, someone needs to end that cycle. At the same time, if like fascists are going to take over the country and beat up people, I'm perfectly willing to do eye for an eye and tooth for a tooth. Okay, perfectly willing to do that. So it depends on the um, situation, but I'm generally disagree. Big Braden, I love that you can't. Yeah, yeah. Oz, yeah, Oz says a huge reason I'm moving to Colombia. By the way, beautiful country, everyone. Really good food too. One of the most diverse ecological habitats in the world. Deserts, rainforests, mountains, beautiful place. Um, I was once actually. I don't know if I should say this. I was once actually in a relationship with a gentleman from Colombia. Really great culture, etc. And yes, don't have to worry about credit scores, don't have to worry about health insurance, etc. Um, yeah, Lost Legacy says kind of agree with the current situation. Just look at redistricting. We need to get more on their level within reason. I agree, the Lost Legacy. I agree, and that's why I'm kind of complimenting Gavin Newsom here. I'm not a fan of Gavin Newsom, but you need to fight fire with fire, and I'm sick of liberals and some on the left kind of being a slug and letting the other side walk all over them. Correct, Radon. Correct, Radon. And I'm sure, Radon, and I'm not trying to stereotype here, Radon, but I'm sure you may know this better than a lot because you're from India. The British kind of pushed a lot of violence and hate between different religious groups there in India. And that cycle of violence still partially continues today. We can't, yeah. Yeah, you're right, Oz. Gandhi said that a lot, an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. 100%. Um, Okay. Let's continue, folks. So, taxpayers should not be expected to prop up any theaters or museums that cannot survive on a commercial basis. Okay, I'm going to disagree. The reason I'm going to say disagree, well, I just don't like the idea. Yeah, I think there are important aspects of museums, see, and theaters and stuff, things like that, cultural things that should be propped up by tax dollars. But of course, I would want that to be decided by the people. The people should decide that they want some of their taxes to go for that. Yeah, schools should not make classroom attendance compulsory. Ooh, okay, I disagree. I know that may put me on the bad side of some folks. I'm a teacher, all right? The issue, though, with schools is that a lot of them are kind of constructed to, as we talked about previously, to reinforce certain modes of social control and labor relations and class relations and stuff. But if you had schools that actually taught things like critical thinking, being good citizens, etc., I do think everyone should attend and it should be compulsory because I want to live in a country where everyone is well educated. Um, and I know that might sound authoritarian to me, but I would be willing to let the state enforce that. So that would be my view. Um, yeah, Big Braden, you're right. Winston Churchill is, in fact, um, a monster for what he did to India. He famously referred, folks. Someone's going to clip this, but he famously referred to Indians as monkeys. Okay, and then this is the Winston Churchill who's sort of a hero to a lot of folks because of um, his resistance to the Nazis in World War II. And yeah, he gets props for that, but he was a raging racist, really unpleasant guy in a lot of ways. Yeah, the Bengal fan, there's that as well for a moment. And that's partially because people tend to want to view him as a hero, so they ignore the bad parts. Matt Saigai, thank you for the super chat. Um, uh, a woman's life is always at an elevated level of risk when they're pregnant. So the argument that if a mother's life is at risk is plain BS 100%. I forgot about that. Everyone like that, please. That's a great comment. 100%. Oh my God. Yeah, Radon, you definitely are acquainted with this. Then Radon says, I'm from Punjab, which is on the border of Pakistan and India, and Punjab was broken into two parts. One is at each side of the border. And folks, I believe Radon is referring to Kashmir, which that region has been divided between India and Pakistan for a while. Yeah, and it was genocidal violence basically, Radon. During the displacement, around 500K people died, and I will say, Radon, you can largely, not completely, but you can largely blame the British for that. And the imperialism of the British Empire, their stranglehold over India, their abuse of the people there. And they used a divide and rule tactic where they tried to put the Muslim community and the Hindu community at odds against each other to make it easier to rule them, amongst other things. There's more to it than that, but I'm always a fan of blaming the colonialists for a lot of the harm. Um, Salmon Forest, I would have to look that up. From what I've heard about Winston Churchill, so Salmon Forest says Winston Churchill supported Hitler before the war. Look it up. I will definitely look that up because from what I've heard, he was actually one of the few people not defending Winston Churchill here, who was calling for action against Hitler. But perhaps he did at some point. I would not be surprised given his racial views. Yeah, Big Braden, I feel like a lot of the issues in the world can be summed up by it's the British fault. Yes, and if there's any English folks in chat, anyone from the UK, I hope you know we don't mean you, but yeah. And this is an issue of empires, okay? If you look at Africa, if you look at India, a lot of issues there come from the British Empire. Oh, okay. I apologize, Radon. Yeah, so Punjab. Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. So Punjab, yeah, different province. My apologies. Different state there, but still very close to Kashmir, right? Am I right about that? Uh, London, 100%, 100%. London says 9 out of 10 times if there's a border conflict today, it's either because of the British or the French. Yeah. And folks, there's a lot of talk, in Africa, there's a lot of nations there. And basically, the Europeans divide. I think I've talked about this, the Berlin Conference, where they basically divided up Africa. They took out a map. No one from Africa was actually president. And they basically drew all these borders and said who would own what parts of Africa. And a lot of those borders, they would put in different groups that don't like each other. And so there's a lot of conflict in Africa, and it goes all the way back to the British. Okay, yeah, the British and the Germans and the French and the Spanish and the Americans to some extent. Not as much the Americans in this case, but modern day the Americans do a lot of harm there. Um, yeah, yeah, absolutely, Big Braden. Okay, folks, let's continue here. Let's see here. All people have their rights, but it is better for all of us that different sorts of people keep to their own. Strongly disagree. We all need to be out and about. We need to have a cosmopolitan view of the world. I think one of the greatest forms of education is going to like a university or a college that has a diverse student body. You get to meet people from all over the world. You get to recognize the shared humanity amongst all people. I think people should not stick to their own kind. They ought to go out there and meet other kinds of people because that builds empathy and prevents dehumanization. London, I love that. Yeah, bruh moment. At some point, bruh moment, I'm going to talk about the Congo War, which most people don't even know about. The Second Congo War was the largest war since World War II, and it's never talked about. Yeah, because the Congo was massively destroyed by Belgium. Belgium's another one, horrible colonizer. Um, the British don't mind if I do. And then bruh moment says this definitely. Oh, sorry. London says, "I do not want to miss a good. I do. I'm sorry if I'm going to say, I do not want a good chance to of getting us a slice of this magnificent African cake." Yes, okay. Um, my British accent probably isn't on point there, but yes, okay. The British don't mind if I do exactly, and then snatch. Okay, all right. Let's go on here. Good parents sometimes have to spank their children. I strongly disagree. I'm not now. That doesn't mean. I don't know. So, God. I will say strongly disagree. However, folks, I am not pro corporal punishment. There are some studies that show that in very specific circumstances, it can be beneficial for a parent to spank a child, but very, very specific circumstances. We're talking about, let's say you live in a community that is dangerous, where there's lots of crime and gang activity and stuff. If you have a child that continuously goes out and joins gangs or gets involved in crime or whatever, sometimes spanking can help reduce that behavior. And again, not defending it, but I just wanted to add a little nuance there. Almost every time you spank, it's bad, but there are very rare occasions where the trauma of being spanked can be better than the alternative. Feel free to disagree with me there, but that's what the research shows. Yeah, big brain. Yeah, absolutely, Alan W. The Free Congo, Sudan, and Palestine. Absolutely, all colonial possessions, all were massively destroyed essentially by the British, et cetera, and other European nations. Um, so, folks, oh, wow, I think this may be the most concurrent viewers I've had. I may have gotten to 47 at one point, but for those who have just joined the stream, hello, hello. We have a super chat limit goal right now. If we get up to 5, I'll put on the Jester collar. If we get up to 10, I will put on the Jester makeup. If you like the stream and you want to support the channel, you can become a member on the YouTube page by clicking the join button for as little as 99 cents a month. You can become a member or join on Patreon for $5 a month, becoming a supporter. For those who have joined, please hit the like button if you don't mind. It'll help get the word out about the stream. For those that are watching who would like to comment but can't, please subscribe to the channel. You'll have to wait 5 minutes, but then you'll be able to make a comment. Okay. I do have a classroom, right? Long Beach Dragon. This is like a traditional American classroom, nearly 40 students. Okay. Yeah, Sir Bartholomew. Looks like we got a lot of the folks coming out here. Radon, one video you can react to is Dr. Shashi Tharoor. Okay, British does owe reparations. Absolutely. The British do owe a lot of reparations. Actually, America owns a lot of reparations too. I would agree with that. Okay, for sure. Yeah, absolutely, Oz. Um, I know Oz's name keeps changing, but he's absolutely right. Jesus commands you to love your neighbor. That includes trans kids and immigrants. If you disagree, then you are not a Christian. Couldn't agree more. I don't remember ever, and I've read the whole Bible, folks. I've actually read it a few times. I went to a Catholic school. Would anyone actually be interested in me doing a Bible reading sometime? Now, I wouldn't. It would not be like a pro Bible reading. I would probably be dismantling it, regardless. That'd be kind of interesting. But Jesus, I don't recall him ever saying, "Judge thy neighbor." Okay. Um, ban thy trans neighbor. Okay. You see what I mean? Okay. It was all about love. All right. At least that part of the Bible. So yeah, we need to get back to some of those. Yeah. Okay. Um, all right. Let's see here. Okay. Yeah. So we'll continue here. Yeah. Love thy neighbor. Absolutely. Um, Yeah, okay. Yeah, behind JK, absolutely. Behind the Bastards did a Leopold Congo episode. Yeah. So, folks, if you don't know, we don't talk about it much. It's not talked about in many history classes, especially in the United States. But Belgium basically, well, actually, Leopold, the King of Belgium at a time, owned the Congo as his personal territory. Okay. It was owned by Belgium, but it was his personal land. And he killed millions of people by forcing them to work on rubber plantations. You can look up. I'm not going to show it on stream. I don't want to. I feel like I would. That would be against the rules. There are images because they would cut off hands, legs, arms, feet if you did not reach your quota, and millions of Africans died, and we never talk about it. Okay. So, one of the worst crimes in human history, almost never talked about, the Congo Free State. Look it up. I was actually in Brussels once, Brussels, Belgium, and I was with my dad, and we got Brussels, not the best city when it comes to roads and streets. They don't mark them very well. So we got lost, and we were forced into this roundabout, where at the center of this roundabout was a statue to King Leopold. And you can imagine my dad and I, especially my dad, was ranting angrily the whole time we were trapped in this roundabout about how, oh, this goddamn Leopold here getting us stuck in this roundabout. Why, mass murdering psychopath. Like, you can't. Yeah, my dad, it was hilarious while we were stuck going around this statue, because there are still a lot of statues to Leopold and such in Belgium today. Um, the Lost Legacy, thank you. Thank you for the super chat, Lost Legacy. I came across you a few weeks ago. I'm pleasantly surprised with your content. Thank you. To free Palestine, it's not going to come from the right, it's going to come from the left. But for that to succeed, the Democratic base would need a revolt. I totally agree with you. Okay, 100%. I think most of the people in here would agree with you. The Democratic base it honestly needs to be more radicalized. It needs to think, it needs to advocate for serious reform, and it needs to, 100%. And also needs to have a little more humanity, in my opinion, because those like Destiny, who, you all know what I'm going to say there. Yeah, those quotas were almost impossible to meet. And I mean, not to mention the disease and stuff. It was, folks. And by the way, when I'm talking about this, I believe he may. I'm going to look it up. Leopold actually may have resulted in the death of more people than Hitler did. And can we all guess? I may not say it out loud here, folks, but I think we can guess why people don't talk about that as much. It might have something to do with skin color. All right. Leopold deaths. Oh, what a monster. Okay. He's seeing his stupid face. Okay. Okay, I may have exaggerated a bit, but he does say here, yeah, about oh no, I'm not exaggerating, because we don't really have good records about it, because they didn't take records. Anywhere between 1 million and 15 million people. 15 million people, folks, perished underneath the Belgian Free State. Horrific. So, yeah, okay. And again, folks, why do we think that this doesn't get talked about? For the same reason that a lot of folks in Africa don't get talked about a lot of the time. Okay, there's a few reasons. I'm guessing a big issue reason with this is racism. I just be aware of it. Okay. Um, yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, it was Dumbo, you're right, I should have called it that too, I should have used that word. Dumbo says, "It was a genocide." Yes, it was absolutely a genocide. Leopold was a genocidal maniac. The people that worked for him were genocidal maniacs, on par with some of the worst genocidaires in history, including Netanyahu, Hitler, the Hutu power government in Rwanda. I mean, genocide. And by the way, heck, if you want to talk about European imperialism in Africa, we should talk about the Rwandan genocide, and I will sometime because that was definitely largely due to also the Belgians. Shocking, right? This little country, Belgium, has such a long history of causing mass destruction and death in other countries. But anyway, though admittedly, Belgium does have some pretty good food, but I don't even want to launch that compliment right now. Okay. Uh, Yeah, absolutely, bro. Moment. He did. When he heard about the treatment, he's like, "Oh, that's terrible." Well, anyway, making money, so who cares? Like, disgusting human being. Um, London, I forgot about that. I didn't realize that they burned all the records. That is, geez, at least the Nazis kept their records, right? God, um, disgusting. Okay, really disgusting. Yeah, Solomon Forrest asks, "Are you a DSA member?" Yeah, I was a DSA member. I was actually a paying member of the DSA. I stopped my subscription though to save money. But yeah, I was a DSA member. Okay. Yeah, Lost Legacy. Okay, folks, these are great comments. Okay, let's continue, folks. Again, we get three more super chats. I'll put on the Jester caller. Thank you all for those who have contributed so far. It's natural for children to keep some secrets from their parents. Yeah, it is. And honestly, for the parents in chat, please don't take this the wrong way. I think it's okay that children have some secrets from their parents. As long as those secrets aren't harmful to the child. Um, yeah, it's natural for kids to keep some secrets from their parents. Um, yes, Alan, please. You can ask me questions about joining DSA later. All right. Yeah, send me a message on Discord. I'll get to you. Ooh, Sir Bartholomew, you got to meet Romeo Dallaire at a book signing. I've read his book. Shake Hands with the Devil, great book. One of the Canadian UN Keep. Yeah, he really, really good guy. In a lot of ways, really bad situation he was stuck in. We'll talk about it on stream sometime. The Rwandan genocide. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Salmon Forest, you are on fire. I think it's the first time I've seen you in your Salmon Forest, but you are definitely spitting fire right now. Okay, Germany didn't say sorry for the Namibian genocide. Yes, folks. By the way, folks, the first concentration camps that Germany created were not in Europe. They were in colonial Germans' colonial African possessions, including Namibia, where they basically pushed a bunch of people into the oh goodness, I can't remember the name of them. Harara people into the desert and watched them die. They also created camps that are for people, but no one ever talks about that because once again, as I said before, why do we think that is? Might it have something to do with skin color? Okay. Lost Legacy says, Didn't Saudi Arabia commit a genocide in Yemen like 10 years ago? Yeah, absolutely it did. With US weapons, by the way, we funded it. Um, yeah, right now, I mean, we're kind of doing it. Okay. Uh, all right, folks, I'm going to continue here. Let's see here. Possessing marijuana for personal use should not be a criminal offense. Strongly agree. Okay. I'm tempted to show you what I'm sitting near right now. But anyway, and again, folks, maybe later in the stream or even tonight, maybe later in the stream, I will leave the camera suddenly and I'll come back and I'll be much in a much better mood. But I agree, it should not be a criminal offense. Yes, there are some negative side effects to marijuana, similar to alcohol, but criminalizing it, all it does is put more people in prison. And I think people are adults and they can make that decision for themselves. Not to mention the law and American tradition of marijuana and hemp growing. Um, yes, exactly. I will be boiling some water. Okay. Let's see here. The prime function of schooling should be to equip the future generation to find jobs. Strongly disagree. I do think, given that we are forced to be in the situation where you have to find work and such, they should be prepared to find jobs, but that should not be the primary function of schooling. It should be to think critically, right? To come up with your own view of the world, to make sure you're not misled, things like that. Okay. And yeah. Though I do really like the idea of trade schools and things like that. For the folks that are in Germany in chat, you probably are well acquainted with these. I think trade schools are really great. Okay, but I think like during your early years of schooling, high school, et cetera, you should be focusing on things like critical thinking and such. Yeah, some basics about science, math, all that other stuff, reading. But I think then, yeah, you can also have trade schools. But I think the main goal of schooling should be enlightenment and critical thinking, not preparing you to go out into the capitalist hellscape and fight for scraps with your neighbors. Um, that's yeah. Oh, these are good comments. Okay, I'm going to go to the next thing here. People with seriously, Jesus. Okay, I mean this is definitely one is that's going to be filtering out some Nazis. People with serious inheritable disabilities should not be allowed to reproduce. Strongly disagree. I think I told you all, and America has a history of doing this. The euthanasia program in America, where we literally sterilize people, made them unable to reproduce if we felt that they had inheritable diseases and things like that. I think about 50,000 people were sterilized in this way. Horrific crime. The Nazis, of course, did the same thing. I think it's horrible. I think people with serious inheritable disabilities should be able to make that choice for themselves, and their lives are no less valuable than mine or anyone else who does not have a serious inheritable disability. We also have to ask the question of how do you define what is a serious inheritable disability, right? I mean, it's a slippery slope, folks. If you were to do that, and you see what I mean, okay? Heck, I think it's a serious inheritable disability to be a fascist. So, but anyway, okay. Um, the most important thing for children to learn is to accept discipline. No, strongly disagree. That's just social control. No, thank you. Uh, Lost legacy. I went to a trade school for welding. It only cost me about 2,500 bucks. I didn't get certified. That would have cost 300 more. Trades are the way. I totally agree with you, folks. Um, okay. Um, okay. So, hey, Gimpy Gaming, good, glad to see you here. I hope you heard Gimpy Gaming my commentary on this one here. People with serious inheritable disabilities should not be allowed to reproduce. Of course, a horrific thing. Okay. All right. Yeah. So the most important thing for children to learn is to accept discipline. Okay. Oh yeah, I got a lot of Europeans here. Okay, good, excellent. Yeah, Gimpy game. Um, by the way, folks, if you go to the Discord, Gimpy G Gaming has a YouTube channel, and he has a really adorable puppies too. I got to tell you, and I watched a couple of his videos on his channel. Great resource for people looking into disabilities rights, things like that. So check that out if you have a moment. I really support the work that Gimpy Gaming is doing out there. Okay, so there are no Oh, good lord. Okay, here we go. I go. By the way, a lot of Europeans in chat talking about trade schools. Yeah, I think trade schools are a good idea. And just a reminder, folks, we have a 5 super chat limit. Um, Oh, Radon. I love Civilization. I also love like a Hearts of Iron 4 and a Europa Universalis and all those other things. Yeah, I love those games. Would love to play those. The Goon. Oh gosh. Okay. Okay, so we have 5 super chats. If we get 3 more super chats, I'll put on the Jester collar. 10 more after that, I'll put on the makeup. If you're watching right now and you would like to comment, please subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to support the channel, you can become a join. Click the join button underneath the video to become a member. And for as little as 99 cents a month, you can help support the channel and the work I do here. And you can also become a Patreon for $5. Please consider that. Thank you very much. And if you don't mind, folks, please like the stream if you haven't already. That helps bring more people in here. Um, what is this question? Hey, Louise, welcome back. We were just talking about the UK. Well, we were talking about the British Empire. Okay. Um, this is a questionnaire that shows you where you are on the political spectrum. I'm just taking it. We're kind of having a chill stream today. I know I can't help myself though. We've already talked about genocide, healthcare, and things like that. Um, yeah. Okay. So we're going to go through here. Let's see what else we got here. There are no savage and civilized peoples. There are only different cultures. I strongly agree. Though I will say, if there's one culture that right now is very savage and uncivilized, it's the United States and how we treat our people. And of course, I don't actually think that, but absolutely, there are no such thing as savage and civilized people. Anyone who has any knowledge of anthropology knows that cultures develop as a result of the environments they are in. It's just different ways of adapting to different environments, things like that. It's just different ways of doing things. It is no such thing as a more inferior or, none of that old nonsense that was believed back in the day about, okay, even though a lot of folks today still seem to believe those things. Okay. Yeah. Uh, yeah, that's a fair point, Lost Legacy. Okay. All right, let's go on here. Those who are able to work and refuse the opportunity should not expect society's support. I strongly disagree with that. Now, this is not to say I think that people shouldn't work, but there is some people don't work, and I still think they should be supported. They shouldn't just be let to die, because as I've said before, folks, I am a strong believer in the fact that free will doesn't really exist. I actually posted a book in the Discord called Determined, A Science of Life Without Free Will. And the science is pretty clear on this. The actions people take is based off past experiences, somewhat based off genetics, some other things. And if someone's not working, there's probably a reason for that. We like to demonize people who do that, but you have to understand, like, most people want to do some sort of labor, want to contribute to society. Okay, maybe they don't have the right outlet for that, but I don't think we should punish people who don't work. And by the way, that doesn't mean that supporting them will cause there to be a lot of people that don't work. That has not been shown statistically. Okay, so yeah. Yeah, Germany does need welders, that's for sure. So Big Braden says people even said about Neanderthals, but we're finding out that they're not as savage as people as we thought. Absolutely, Neanderthals. The more and more we learn about them, there's this sort of sense that they're dumb cavemen, but they were much more than that. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry, Long Beach Dragon. We're probably, I need to, yeah, Matt Saigai. I'm so sorry, Matt Saigai. Matt Saigai gave me a great idea. I'm going to repost the resource, the books and the resources using a different site. I was just using Amazon, but Matt Saigai makes a good point. I probably shouldn't be supporting Amazon. Probably should use used books. I will try to change that out in the chat. Lost Legacy. I am also in Ohio. If you are comfortable, perhaps telling me privately if you'd like. I would like to know where you are in Ohio, but just curious. Anyway, um, okay, let's go through this test. You're right; it's a long test, Long Beach Dragon. I ought to go for it faster. When you are troubled, it is better not to think about it, but to keep busy with more cheerful things. Strongly disagree. Okay, that allows people to ignore injustice and stuff. Next one here. First generation immigrants can never be fully integrated within their country. Strongly disagree. Okay. What's good for the most successful corporations is always ultimately good for all of us. Right, right. Strongly disagree there. No broadcasting institution, however independent its content, shall receive public funding. Strongly disagree. Which, for the sake of time, I'm not going to go into those, but we'll just assume that so we can end up getting here. Oh, very nice, Lost Legacy. I'm in Central Ohio. Just curious to see where you are. Okay. Yeah, London, I would love that. Oh, yes, London, please do. Everyone should give a shout out to London here. He's really put a lot of effort into the channel, the Discord server. And by the way, folks, I announced this on Discord. I am, I my oh, who was it? Someone in chat here. Was it Alan? Someone in chat here pointed out that my thumbnails on my videos are kind of subpar, and I totally agree. If anyone would be willing to help me make some thumbnails, once I am able to sustain my existence doing this, I will pay you for it eventually. But if for now you would like to volunteer to help me do that, I would highly appreciate it. Yeah, it was Alan. Thank you so much, Alan. That was a great recommendation. So please let me know. You can send a message in Discord or whatever. Okay, let's go on with this. Our civil liberties are being excessively curbed in the name of counterterrorism. Strongly agree. The Patriot Act was a disaster. That was the act that was passed after 9/11. Um, Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. Yeah, just for Alan W, just for the upload. So when I upload the videos to YouTube, that upload screen, I would like those to be higher quality. So if anyone's interested, please let me know in the Discord. Our civil liberties, they are absolutely are being, our civil liberties are massively curbed because of so-called counterterrorism. The Patriot Act basically allowed the government to do no non-warrant search warrants. I mean, we have to remember Snowden and how the government has been monitoring all of our communications and stuff. That's a slippery slope, folks. And imagine now we have a fascist government in America. What would happen if they may already be doing this, fully utilizing that surveillance apparatus to suppress political dissent and stuff? I mean, that's something that keeps me up at night. So just something to consider that. Okay. A significant advantage of a one party state is that it avoids all the arguments that delay progress in a democratic political system. I actually strongly disagree with that. Yeah, maybe it does, but it doesn't matter. If the actions that a one party state are taking is detrimental to its population, I don't care if it's more efficient, right? And that can often result in corruption. You can look in China, for example, one party state. Um, yeah, it has been used. It has been, I guess, it's done some things that are, I guess, good, but yeah, not good overall. I don't like the idea of a one party state, and I know a lot of that might be a lefty debate we could have. Some Marxists out there think that there should be like a one party state. I don't think so. I think that automatically results in totalitarianism, authoritarianism, and corruption. So, not a fan of that. Um, okay. Although the electronic age makes surveillance easier, only doers need to be worried. Strongly disagree. Everyone needs to be worried about that. Um, yeah. Okay. Yeah, we all need to be worried about that because it could easily change into all of us being targeted. The death penalty. Now, folks, I'm going to actually put this in chat. I know that there are some lefties, for example, who are okay with the death penalty, and I think it's worthy of debating. So I'm going to put it in chat here. Okay, I'm going to start a poll here. Do I have to? Oh, I have to get rid of the other poll. Okay. Okay, we'll do this poll. So start a poll here. I agree with the okay, I'm going to ask, do you agree with the death penalty? Um, okay, penalty. Yes, no, start poll. Okay, I'm curious to see what people say. Bye-bye, Winter. Auf Wiedersehen. Okay. I'm curious to see what people say. Okay, no, no. We go, wow, it's going back and forth. It's like a competition here. Okay. Oh, well, mainly no, though, at the moment. Okay. So, while you all are doing that, I will tell you what my kind of view on this is. Um, so, I strongly disagree. I do not support the death penalty almost in any case. All right. There's reasons for this. Might partially be because I'm American. You have to understand that in America, and this has been studied multiple times, uh, yeah, no, I agree. See, yeah, it's more complicated than just yes or no. I will say that. But there have been studies that show that something, I can't remember the exact percentage, something like 7 to 10% of people on death row are actually innocent. If you execute someone and they end up being innocent, that is a mistake you cannot fix. They're dead. Okay, so I do not support it because human beings are fallible. They can accuse person of a crime and it ends up that even if there's a lot of evidence that makes it appear true, they can end up being wrong. I do not agree with a punishment that is final, in case we need to go back and fix it. And that, by the way, is the case I think everywhere. That's my opinion. I understand though that I could see arguments on the other side of that. It's just not something I have a stomach for. In terms of, I don't like the death penalty. Yeah, agreed. Gimpy gaming. Yeah, you're right. The death penalty is more expensive than housing someone in a prison. It's a very expensive thing to do, and yeah, yeah. Lost legacy. I'm part. Yeah, I'm with you there. I okay. Admittedly, I'm with you there. Okay. I'm kind. This sounds authoritarian of me. I'm kind of for the idea of making a public display out of people who commit war crimes and things like that. And so, if that includes what happened during the Nuremberg trials, I'm all for that. Okay, but I think in the vast majority of cases, yeah, okay. Um, Big Braden said the same thing. Yeah, Big Braden, I agree. Like Nuremberg trials. Um, okay. Yeah, so very true. So let's go on here, folks. In a civilized society, one must always have people above to be obeyed and people below to be commanded. Strongly disagree. Now, yeah, I think that in most societies, you will oftentimes need some sort of authority structure. Now, in a perfect world, that wouldn't need to exist. I would prefer a more grassroots structure. Um, but yeah, I don't think one always have to have people above to obey and people below to be commanded. The framing of this is what's making me say strongly disagree. Mm, okay. All right. Going on to the next one. Abstract art that doesn't represent anything shouldn't be considered at all art at all. Strongly disagree. Who's to say what is art and what's not art? That is a person by person basis. The Nazis, by the way, hated abstract art. They even created a museum called the Museum of the Kundis, the Museum of Degenerate Art, and they took what they thought was degenerate art and they shoved in all the walls and kind of made it crooked and stuff. And if you actually look at images of, you know what, I'll even show you. I'll show you guys a pic. If you look at pictures, they would take pictures in the side of this place, and there would often be Germans visiting it, and you can absolutely tell that some of the Germans there are there because they enjoy the art, not because of the what the Nazis purported degeneracy of the art. And that just goes to show you, right, that art is means different things to different people. Let me see here. Of Yeah, there we go. Let me see if I can find a good picture of someone who's clearly enjoying the art that they're looking at. Um, oh, yeah, that's not the best picture. Oh, I'll show you guys that one anyway. But I've seen better ones. Here we have. Here we go. Okay. Um, so I'll show you this image, folks. So here is this is not the best example because these look like well. So here's an image you see here. This is the degenerate or the degenerate art exhibit in Germany. Let me get back so I can see the chat here. And if you look closely, and I'm not, again, some of the folks in here appear to be Nazis. I don't, so please don't think that, I'm like supporting that. But if you look here, you see how these two ladies, now I've seen better pictures. Even all these folks down here, they are sitting, right, to look at this so-called degenerate art. Even this guy here in this SA uniform over here doesn't look disgusted, does he? It looks like they're enjoying the art. Like, and I know most of these folks are probably Nazis, but that just goes to show you, even if you try to claim something's a degenerate art, there will be people who still enjoy it. I mean, so it's not that I think is a very sort of fascist thing to claim that certain art is degenerate and such. Yeah. Oh, I know Henry G. Yeah, welcome to the chat, Henry G. Henry G says, "I know they put Van Gogh in there. Insane, Dumbo, right?" Henry G. Hitler was just hating because he was ass. Have you all seen his work? Yeah, yes, I have, Henry G. And Hitler. You know what? Let's take a look, folks. You want to see some of Hitler's art? Now, I will say, folks, yes, Hitler may be a better artist than a lot of us, but he had a massive problem with perspective. You'll see what I mean. Hitler's art. Okay. Um, as a matter of fact, that's why he couldn't get into art schools because the art teacher was basically like, you don't have good perspective. There's something off about your art. Here we go. Okay. Here's a really good example. Hitler, blah, 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 blah. By the way, does everyone know that he had a condition called micropenis? And just a sun side effect. You can look up what that means. But if you want to make fun of Hitler, that's it. Okay. Where'd it go? Where's his art? I saw that image here. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Oh, here we go. I'll show you. Okay, so do we see this? If I can make it a little closer, this is one of Hitler's pieces of art. Do we see how there's a little something off about his perspective, right? Like this carriage is a little bit out of place. This building, it's kind of hard to tell if it's in front of the other buildings or like up against them. So not a great artist at all. Okay. So anyway, side note. Okay. Um, okay. Let's continue with the uh, other thing we're doing here. Okay. So, yeah, I totally disagree. Abstract art, I mean, I love a lot of abstract art too. So anyway. Oh, you're on the last section? I'm going so slow, Louise. I'll try to hurry up here. In criminal justice, punishment should be more important than rehabilitation. I strongly disagree. I think we need to rehabilitate people if it's possible. Okay. So yeah. It's a waste of time to try and rehabilitate some criminals. Ooh, yeah. I'm gonna say disagree. Nah, I think we can try to rehabilitate some criminals. There are some criminals out there, and I'm talking like a serial. Probably can't say it on screen. People who do crimes towards children and stuff, um, who probably it will be very hard to rehabilitate. That doesn't mean we shouldn't try because they are human. Yeah, I'll say strongly disagree. That doesn't mean we'll be able to, but we should definitely try. Hey, Fox Emblem, yeah, that's a fair point. Uh, yeah, okay. Um, so I don't know. I don't know, London. Salmon Forest says, "Can Bush be rehabbed?" Oh, probably not. Probably not. Although he does make paintings now and stuff. He kind of does his own little painting and stuff. So maybe all those little war crimes and stuff are out of his system. I don't know. Okay, but no, he should be in prison. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of your name, the Goon Lord. But hey, if you would you give me an example, the Goon Lord? I think you're probably right. Like crimes against humanity, things like that. But I'm not saying that those are crimes that we should forgive crimes. I'm saying that yeah, maybe every crime that we should try to rehabilitate. This one is asking it's a waste of time to try to rehabilitate. I'm not saying we'll be able to. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, yeah. We just need to be better at doing it, though. We need to be better at rehabilitation. Right now, we're not. Um, um, can the culture be rehabilitated? Ooh, so that's a deep question there. The lost legacy. I think yes, it can. Historically, at least, cultures can change and change with time, um, but it takes a lot and it takes generations. The business person and the manufacturer are more important than the writer and the artist. Strongly disagree. Uh, I mean, not to say that manufacturers are important. I mean, I'm talking like, well, maybe not the owner of the manufacturing company, but okay. But I think all these are important. Yeah, you're right, Alan. We basically don't look to rehabilitate at all in America. Very rarely do we actually try. Cade Winter, I agree with you. Okay, I agree with you. But so Cade Winter says someone like Ted Bundy couldn't be rehabilitated. You're absolutely right. Okay, but the question was, should we try? And yeah, they actually did try to rehabilitate Ted Bundy in prison. It didn't work. But the point here is, should we try to rehabilitate him? Yeah, but you're right. He should, you know, someone should lock the bars on him and throw away the key. That is absolutely the case. And even if he would be rehabilitated, I would never have let him out of prison. But still, okay. Goonlord says, I'd like to say that insane war crimes, S violence, I won't violations, K along those lines, they shouldn't be brought back to public. And that's okay. Hey, Goonlord, that's okay. Yeah. So, but it's really not the end of the world. It's not that bad of a name. We actually have had people in here who have had used Nazi officials in their names and stuff. So trust me, Goonlord is not that big of a deal. Okay, I don't know why I got after you for that. Maybe my inner teacher coming out. I forget. Anyway, so I'd like to say, yeah, no, I do agree with you. Okay, like there are some people that should be not brought back into the society that are just too dangerous or too harmful. Yeah. But I do think we should try to rehabilitate them if possible because they are human, despite they may act in a very humane way. Okay, mothers may have careers, but their first duty is to be homemakers. Strongly disagree. Okay, women should be able to decide whether they want to be homemakers or have a career. I, you know, absolutely. Um, okay, that should just be a choice. Does that sound radical to anyone? I hope not. Women should be able to decide whether they want to be homemakers or have careers, or do both. It's a woman is a human being, by the way, for the men in chat. Okay, and I doubt there's okay. I love everyone in chat. Don't get me wrong. There's like a lot of an incel movement and things like that. There's a lot of folks out there who have very negative views of women, and lots of times young men especially won't know how to treat women. And let me be very clear. There's actually a simple response to this. Okay, women are not a different species. They're human beings. When you go on a date, and by the way, I'm saying this as a gay man, but so anyway, but when you go on a date, look at the person. Okay, treat her like a human being. Have conversations with her. What is she interested in? Try to find common interest. Try to make her a friend of yours, like enjoying the same things and stuff. They are human beings. They're just like you. And there's a lot of stuff out there that tries to separate men and women, but just treat women like humans, and then things will work out. Okay. And yes, also treat men like humans. I'm just saying, I've noticed a lot of my younger male students, they've been fed so much crap online about women that they forget the humanity of women, and then they don't understand why, for example, no one wants to date them. Okay, so just a notion there. um okay. um yeah, Henry G, I highly approve of that, right? Henry G says, I want my girl to be the breadwinner and me stay at home dad. Yeah, and everyone should be able to decide that for themselves. Um, Women are human beings. I know it may be shocking to some people, but they are just like you and me. They have dreams, hopes. They have interests. Yeah. Okay. So let's continue there. Um, there is also another issue here. First, one last thing about on women here in schools. The vast majority of teachers are women, and that's nothing wrong with that. But a lot of times, what it leads to is young men, especially like teenagers, teenage men stuff. They if they can't go to their parents or their father, they don't have very many male figures in their life that they can go to talk about these things. And sometimes those male figures will tell them the wrong thing. So we need more male teachers who know how to talk to young men about this. Okay, because women can do it too, but you can imagine psychologically it doesn't have the same effect as if it's coming from a man. Okay, um, And by the way, as I said before, I am a feminist. I think all men should be feminist. Feminism is not only good for women; it is good for men. We do not. We could write whole not books about all the things that women go through, but men go through a lot too. We're not expected to express our emotions. If a war gets started, we're the ones that have to get sent to go die. Men don't live as long as women. There's a lot of stress is placed on them, and a lot of times people don't have kind words for men. And they will have low self-esteem and such. So feminism is about the equality of the sexes. Sexes should be treated, that both sexes should be treated equally, and that includes men. They should be allowed to feel emotion and things like that. That's why you should be a feminist if you're a man, because feminism is about equality of the sexes. Okay, so yeah, there. I'm off my. Uh, I'm off my yeah, soapbox here. Okay. Um, all right. Okay. Uh, Almost all politicians promise economic growth, but we should heed the warnings of climate science that growth is detrimental to our efforts to clear. Yeah, I agree with this. So, I think infinite economic growth. There's some important. Oh, I'm sorry, folks. I just got a super chat here. Thank you, the Lost Legacy. The Lost Legacy says the Jogan sphere and Nick Fuentes types are like a cancer growing in an already infected wound the U.S. has always had. Yeah, absolutely, totally agree. Nick Fuentes worse than Joe Rogan in a lot of ways, but Joe Rogan still a lot of the people he platforms and stuff. Yeah, and yeah, okay. Fox Emblem mentions the patriarchy. Yeah, I agree. Okay, that we are a patriarchal society, absolutely. And when I talk about things men go through, please, folks, don't get the impression I'm saying that men. Uh, are massively oppressed compared to women or anything. You can see I'm using a tactic here, and it's true, right? I want to get more men. I want more men to be feminists because I do think it's good for everyone. So I'm trying to take a different approach to try and make a lot of men realize that that's the case. So, okay. Yeah, oh my god, I know, Alan W. There's right-wing influencers that blame poor quality of life on feminism. Yeah, moronic. Um, yeah, Alice, you that is, that's more true than you think, I think. Alice says, "I fear if I had to date in 2025, I'd be a misandrist." I gotta tell you, yeah, okay, there's actually studies that show younger women especially are not comfortable with a lot of men, and I don't blame them. So many young men are, or I should say, younger women are dating older men at this point because younger men have been so influenced by the manosphere and this toxic masculinity culture online that they literally don't know how to communicate with women. They have very condescending views towards women. And folks, I've said this before, but we also need to remember that there have been several acts of femicide in this country where a man goes out and literally murders women because they're women, but the media doesn't present it that way. Again, I can't remember the names of those people, those monsters who did that, but there was something that happened in California a while back, and no one talks about it. So violence against women, mass violence against women, is going up to some extent. So just, um, yeah, okay. Alan W. You won't see incels in real life for the most part, um, because they don't leave their mom's basement. Okay, the Goon Lord. From what my ex and women friends have told me about men they've been with, it's pretty reasonable to not like us. Totally agree, Goon Lord. Totally agree. And folks, for those, okay, anyone in chat who is gay, who is a gay male or a trans man or whatever it may be, well, like what, a gay trans man, okay, or whatever it may be, okay. Uh, you probably have experienced this where you might meet a woman, be talking to a woman, and as soon as that woman finds out you're gay, their whole demeanor changes. They feel more relaxed. They start smiling more. They're able to feel that they can express themselves. There is a lot of fear attached to men, okay, especially straight men. It's bad for men. It's bad for straight men because, folks, the vast majority of straight men, they're human beings too. And but because of all this toxicity and stuff online, it is really harming men. Okay, and obviously women. Okay, again, I'm going back to that, but just yeah, Um, okay, Fox Emblem says it's really aggravating because men are just as much a victim of patriarchy as women, and it has to do with mental health more so. Yeah, so Fox Emblem, I partially agree with you there. I don't know if I'd go so far as to say that patriarchy is just as bad for men as women. But yeah, it is very bad for men. Okay, yeah, mental health, men's mental health is in the gutter, and absolutely. Okay. Yeah. Drusilla, I think I mentioned that in an earlier stream. A lot of men never receive compliments. I've known men, and I know that sounds like a small thing, but I've known men who like all they what they think about every day is that one compliment they got like a year ago, and that's what keeps them going. I mean, yeah. So, yeah, Goon Lord, absolutely. It's a lot. A lot is because straight guys see women as a game and enables more predatory nature. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Salmon. Thank you. That's my hat. And folks, if you want me to put on more than the hat, I have my whole Jester outfit here. I will put on the collar if we get 2 more super chats. And if we get what? Now at this point, what? 7 more super chats, I will put on makeup to complete the Jester look, okay? Um these are great comments, guys. The Lost Legacy, I can tell you firsthand that some women of those type, yeah, some women like those types of men and are attracted to them. It's crazy, and then they wonder why they were treated like crap. Yeah, no, yes, I think that happens in every kind of group, right? There's some folks that are there's a sexual component to this. Okay, I'm not going to get into it, but yeah, uh, Big Braden says there's literally dudes who have assumed I'm gay for being nice to women without hitting on them. Crazy to have interactions with women without making it sexual. Yes. Yes. Yes, please. If yeah, you're absolutely right, Big Braden. I have experienced that too, where I've had straight male friends who will they people will assume they're gay because they are friendly to women and they treat them well. Okay. By the way, and I'm going to say this too, there are gay men who are horrible towards women and say horribly misogynistic things about women. I have known gay men like that. So I'm not saying that because gay men are very easily, can very easily be brought into that patriarchal misogynistic world because they are men. They're still men. But yeah, so it is, yeah, it's sad, folks. It is sad, all of it. Um, what else we got here? Lost Legacy. I've literally been called the gay best friend type. Hey, I would take that as a compliment to Lost Legacy. Okay. Alan W. Instead of teaching women to have to protect themselves, carry pepper spray, etc., we should teach men to be normal. Oh, shocking idea there, Alan. Absolutely mind blowing. Yes, absolutely right. Instead of making women have to react to how they're victimized, you know, wear wear less revealing clothing. Make sure you bring mace. Don't go out alone. Maybe teach men that women are not objects that can just be abused at will and assaulted and things like that. That would be feel like that'd be a better approach, okay? Just a side note there. Jay Shadow. Okay, I'm gonna say this one. And hey, I gotta tell you, I hope the women in chat don't mind me speaking for them, but I do have a twin sister. But anyway, yeah, Jay Shadow says I'm married to a woman and have 2 kids and still get told I'm a feminist because I think it'll get me laid. Honestly, men in chat, you want to get laid? Anyway, uh, so uh, okay, see here, the Lost Legacy, the bear versus man in the woods discourse was crazy. Yeah, very true. Take your time. I'm interested in hearing your perspective. We agree on a lot. Fantastic, Louise. Thank you for the permission, Louise. Gimpy G Gaming. I was just one of the girls when going out or at work. My not being able to move takes away the threat. Interesting. Okay. I also feel uncomfortable being around groups of guys, even though I Gimpy. even though I'm 100% alpha macho. Gimpy Gaming. So if you don't, I'm going to tell Gimpy Gaming. So for if you don't know, Gimpy Gaming here is quadriplegic, and this is an interesting observation he has. Because he is quadriplegic, a lot of women don't feel threatened around him because they don't feel as physically threatened. That's very interesting. Uh, yeah, and I don't blame you for feeling concerned around large groups of men. I can tell you as a gay man, I can sometimes feel uncomfortable around groups of men, especially if I don't know if they're gay or straight or whatever, because there's a history of lynch mobs and things like that. Um, yeah, and I have to try and sort of convince. Well, first of all, one good thing about being gay is you can fake it, right? And I'm like, yeah, you see the newest football game, right? Great, yeah. So I can always fake it, but yeah, I get it. Yeah, Fox Emblem, you're right about that. Um, Okay, don't be progressive to get yeah, no, Fox, you're right, I should correct myself here, okay? I was being a bit, that was a bit inappropriate of me. So, the Fox Emblem says, "Don't be progressive to get laid, though be a good person." Yeah, my point here, folks, is you should be a feminist. Treat women like people, okay? That is, yeah. Yeah, as long as you put in the work for it, as Fox Emblem says. Hello, Laylane, welcome to the stream. Real life Cat DJ. I'm trans femme, still predominantly a boy. I can't see the red. Boy modding. I'm sorry. If you're a gay man, you might not experience this as much, but women's dark humor is a lot funnier and darker than any man could imagine. Ooh, I like the sound of that. Okay, I'd love to hear that. I'm a big fan of dark humor myself. Shut says the second I call myself a feminist to a woman in convo, I notice a lessening of kind attention. Yeah, absolutely. And of course, it is important that and Shut, from what I know of you, Shut, I know you're actually a feminist, but obviously, but you don't just say it. If you actually live it, as Fox Emblem was saying, okay. But yeah, um, okay, yeah, Emmett Till. Thank you for the super chat there, Macy. Um, I, Folks, if you don't know who Emmett Till is, please look it up. I don't want to go into it. It'll make me very sad, but maybe at some point we'll talk about it. Yeah, shit, I totally agree. Um, okay, folks, we can get off this topic now. I loved all those comments. Let's continue on here. Maybe we'll do a stream sometime on gender and things like that. By the way, folks, Real Life Cat DJ, who was the other Fox Emblem? I'm gay, of course. I'm a member of the LGBTQ community, and this LGBTQ folks, there are a lot of gay men, gay women, who do not have are still largely ignorant of trans issues, of just his gender identity. Partially fall into that camp. I make mistakes all the time. So I please, 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 when I do make these mistakes, I want to learn. Okay, I uh, I um, I find I'm ignorant in some ways. Okay, I am a man after all. I am. I was raised a man. I was gendered as a man. I do harbor. I'm sure I do. I'm sure I harbor some of those tendencies. Please do not feel free to call me out in chat if I ever say anything or do anything that is demeaning towards our trans brothers and sisters, brothers, sisters, and they them's. Okay, so please please don't mind calling me out. All right. Okay, let's go. Um, Making peace. Okay, making peace with the establishment is an important aspect of maturity. Strongly disagree. It's the opposite. A lot of times, maturity does cause people to be obedient to the establishment, but I think the sign of maturity is being able to question the establishment. So let's please do that. Strongly disagree with that. Next page. Excuse me. Thank you, Real Life Cat DJ. But again, I do not mind being called out at all, and I'm sure, knowing you, Real Life Cat DJ, I'm sure you wouldn't mind calling me out. And but still, please call me out if I do these things wrong. Okay. All right. Um, Yeah, thank you, Fox. And making peace with the establishment, aka liberalism, illiberalism, the elite, all that good stuff. Good stuff, not really. All right, folks. Okay, now here we go. Astrology accurately explains many things. Strongly disagree. If anyone in chat likes astrology, I am not trying to brag on you. Astrology is nonsense. There are multiple studies showing it doesn't predict anything. It is largely based off confirmation bias and overgeneralizing and things like that. Astrology is not real. But if it brings you joy, please do it. Please just don't make any decisions off of that, and avoid spending too much money for the charlatans who promote it. Yeah, okay. Astrology doesn't explain anything. Um, you cannot be moral without being religious. Strongly disagree. I actually take the opposite view of this, folks. Yes, of course, religious people can be moral, absolutely, but there are also religious beliefs that are immoral, and I feel like if you free yourself from those beliefs, it is often easier to be more moral. Anyway, I do strongly agree. You can absolutely be moral without being religious. Okay, I am not religious. I am an atheist. Yeah, and there are religious people who are very, very moral. And a lot of times, those religious folks don't adhere to all the parts of their religion, knowing that they're immoral. Okay. Uh, Alice A. Well, screw me, I guess. Hey, you do what you find value in life. Okay, Alice A. You might be joking. Okay, you're joking, Alice A. I'm sorry. Okay, I keep falling into your traps, Alice A. You're a sly one there. Okay. Um, Charity is better than Social Security as a means of helping the genuinely disadvantaged. Strongly disagree. We should not rely on the largesse of people to keep the disadvantaged alive. Okay, that is to me immoral. There's a big culture in the United States of charity given that shouldn't have to exist. Okay, why don't we just support people? I mean, it seems pretty obvious to me. We wouldn't need all these charitable organizations if everyone was fed, clothed, housed, had health care, etc. Um, okay, some people are naturally unlucky. I'm not sure what they mean by that. I strongly disagree. I mean, if you mean like some sort of like supernatural sense of luck, no. All right. But I mean, people are born into different situations and such, but I don't view that, that's result of social things. Yeah, no, Henry G. Mayan astrology is really cool to look into. I totally agree to sort of analyze the Mayan calendar and such. Just a reminder, folks, if we get all we need is one more super chat, just one more, and I'll put on the collar, okay? Yeah, London, I get it. I sometimes feel unlucky too living in these times. Okay. Yeah. It seems like one disaster after another. I'm a millennial, so trust me, I'm well acquainted with the disasters. Um, hey, Alice, again, more power to you. Tarot cards, yeah, same deal there. Feel the same way about those, but some people, it's fun, right? It is a fun thing to do. It can also, I'm not, defending it here, but you can also help get people thinking about their lives. All I'm asking, I'll say, please just don't let anyone take advantage of you. Don't spend too much money in that area. But of course, it's up to you. You're an adult. I'm not, I don't want to talk down to you. I'm sorry. My inner teacher comes out sometimes like I'm talking to children. Lost Legacy, thank you very much. Lost Legacy sends, oh, and Big Braden. Okay, I'll make sure that we count those as two. Yeah, put your collar on. You say yes. Thank you, Big Braden and Lost Legacy. Okay, on comes the collar, folks. All right, here we go. There we go, folks. Okay, the Jester outfit's coming together. I will set a new super chat if we get four more because we have we technically we got two there. I will put on some makeup. Okay, um, five super chats. Just 3 hours. Jester makeup. All right. Okay, here we go. Right. Okay, folks. So, thank you very much for those super chats. Four more, and we'll put on the makeup. So, yeah. Okay. Okay. Good, Alice. Good job, Alice. Okay. I'm glad to hear that. Yes, please do your own tarot. That sounds fun to me. Um, yeah. Promethean Rebel, welcome to the chat. I agree. By the way, I love your name, Promethean Rebel. That is a badass sounding name right there. Promethean Rebel. Okay, we're all prone to scams. Yeah, absolutely. No, you're right. You're right. Yeah, that's fair. So maybe I could. It's okay that I'm more open about it. Just be aware of that, folks. Yeah, I agree. Totally agree, Big Braden. Please do not. We definitely should not promote any religious values in schools. Just because separation of church and state and all of that, we're seeing an erosion of that under the Trump administration. Honestly, it's been happening for years before that, but please, none of that in schools. Um, yeah, yeah. And Leah Lane says, I called her class. Yeah. Leah Lane says, agreed, Braden. I think many religions should be covered. Yeah, I have all four classes that are that generally talk about like the religions of the world without promoting any of them, because it is important to understand different religion, because there's a lot of important history next to that. I have had to teach world religions before without, of course, from a neutral third party perspective, just talking about it. But the issue is religious promotion or promoting any one religion over another. Um, Yeah, absolutely, Alan W. You can totally believe in astrology, tarot cards. I'm just asking you for your not to let it take over your life. Still think freely. People find value in a whole bunch of different things, and if that's how you found value, please, more power to you. Um, Henry G. You may have gotten me there. That is a really good point. Henry G says, but who chooses what religions? Yeah, that may have actually changed my opinion there, Henry G. You're right, because when we teach comparative religion, it's typically what are called the major religions: Christianity, Judaism, Hinduism, Buddhism. Yeah, you're right. I know. The more I think about it, you might be onto something there. Maybe we shouldn't even do the comparative stuff. Um, okay. Uh, Yeah, so why ride the skies? And in college, absolutely. I took a comparative religion class in college. I think in college that's perfectly fine, right? But we are mainly talking here about like primary, secondary school type things. So the schools that everyone has to go to, especially in the United States, I feel that religion shouldn't be a thing there. Yeah, Alan W. J Shadow, yeah, totally disagree on Gimpy Gaming on the charity thing. That's why I put strongly disagree. We need to, okay, yeah. Um, Jay Shadow says, my world religion teachers in high school was a Roman Catholic and said if he hears anyone insulting any religion taught, he would write them up. Except for Scientology, we were allowed to insult that religion. Okay, that is hilarious, Jay Shadow. However, right, if we are going to be unbiased, right, I think this was the point that, who was that gentleman made? I'm sorry, I don't know if you're a gentleman. Henry G made. I suppose they shouldn't even make fun of Scientology. But yes, okay. Um, okay. Knowing Alan W says, knowing American society, the religious teachings would be extremely Islamophobic. Oh, yes. Maybe I'll talk about it sometime, but some of the things I would hear coming out of fellow teachers' mouths regarding Islam made me cringe and got me into many of arguments. Yeah. Uh, Lost Legacy. Everyone would literally try to convert me, but some would just ask about it respectfully and not try to push their values. And I really appreciate, yeah, I think that's great. Lost Legacy. Again, folks, I know I'm an atheist. I am not an anti-theist. I support people believing what religions, they want to believe in. People, humans like to find values of things. They like to order their worlds. Please follow your religion. Find joy in it. Uh, we all need that, especially today. Okay. So just as always, of course, I always ask everyone just think critically. But yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, okay. These are good comments here. Hamina says, no, Scientology is not a religion. And JK says, in Germany, we were taught that Scientology is a cult. I do not disagree with either of you. The problem becomes, how do you differentiate between a cult and a religion? And that is an impossible question to answer. Yes, there are, I would say, like small religious movements that are very insular, that are, um, yeah, it's complicated. And Scientology is such a big religion in the US. I mean, it is pretty large at this point. When does it not become a cult? It's complicated. Maybe we won't get into it now, but yeah. JK, because you have to pay, that is very possible. That's actually a good point, JK. Is that true? Do you have to pay to be in Scientology? Maybe I knew. Maybe I. Maybe I'm a little ignorant on how you can become a Scientologist. Toya Toya Toya, welcome Toya Toya Toya, welcome from Brazil. Um, Even if I have kids, I intend to tell them about the variety of gods and mythology before they are grown, and they can choose themselves. Hey, Toya Toya Toya, I support that idea. Yeah. Uh, Leia Lay show. This is a great convo. We have had some deep convos today. So this is good. Okay, sure. It's impossible to hit everyone, but the same happens in every class. History doesn't teach all of history, but we still teach it. Leia Lane, you're right. I guess. Okay, maybe I should retract it. You can tell, folks, I'm kind of divided on this issue. I do like the idea of teaching different religions, like just as a general overview of world religions, for the sake of understanding societies and things like that. Uh, yeah, but I also understand the argument that, well, then which religions do we teach about? Yeah, there's not a really good answer there. Alan W., I'm not saying other bigotry doesn't exist. Don't take it that way. It very much does. I feel like Islamophobia and transphobia are the last widely accepted. Yeah, no, Alan, I agree. Okay. Yeah, not even homophobia. Most people these days, I know that as a gay man, me saying this might be kind of shocking, but the vast majority of people I meet don't give a shit that I'm gay. Okay, yes, there are in this country there are a lot of homophobes. My point is, I think Islamophobia and transphobia are the worst right now. And anti-black racism, though that's really unacceptable to a lot of people, though. But anyway, yeah, yeah, okay. Coming from, Alan W., coming from a Muslim family, I've grown up personally experiencing tons of Islamophobia. Disgusting. I'm so sorry to hear that, Alan W. Yeah, Islamophobia is very prevalent, and as Alan W. said, in a lot of areas in the United States, it's still considered socially acceptable. People won't get pushback for it. Yeah, um, yeah. It's yeah, I don't even know what else to say about that. Islamophobia is horrific. By the way, same thing in Europe. If folks, anyone in chat from Europe, still there is a lot of still tons of Islamophobia going on there too. Okay, um, Sir Bartholomew, a cult is an organization that you are forbidden to leave from. Oh, that's okay. That might be a good way of defining it there, Sir Bartholomew. Hamina, it's not large, only 25,000 members. Okay. So, folks, I'm quickly finding that I need to educate myself more on Scientology. I will take that. I will take that as evidence that I should do some research. Okay. Um, Promethean Rebel, I agree with that too. They almost got you about 10 years ago, Alice. Hey, at least they didn't get you, right? Yeah, that is fair, Hamina. Okay, I retract my statements about Scientology. Um, one of my issues, folks, is because I am an atheist. I am overly generous towards religious movements because I know I have a bias, so I almost overcompensate a bit, and that might be why I was slightly defending Scientology there. I can do more research into it. Um, as you might know, I am susceptible to cult-like behavior. They're just lucky I don't have the money to join. Alice, I noticed that jab in there, Alice. They're just lucky I don't have the money to join Scientology after they put me in the room and watch. Oh, yeah, that I have heard of when they do that. Absolutely. Lost legacy, post 9/11 Islamophobia is still lingering. And yeah, yeah, thank you, Shut, for putting in the chat. Yeah, Shut put in the chat the link to our Discord. If you'd like to join the Discord, the link is there. We have conversations like this in there all the time. It's a great growing community. Big Braden, yeah, growing up as a child in the post 9/11 world, the news ingrained Islam. excuse me, ingrained Islamic views. I probably uh, I held probably till about high school when I started to know Muslims and realized how dumb the news was. Yeah, absolutely. And so as I always say, folks, we're all human beings. And I know I'm probably preaching to the choir here, not to use a religious analogy, but Muslims are human beings. Okay, obviously they are humans just like you and I. They have the same hopes, dreams. They have families. They are humans just like anyone else. Yeah. So. Obviously, obviously. Okay. Some of my greatest friends have been Muslims. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cade Winter, there is a criteria for differentiating cults from religions. I just don't remember what they are. Thank you, Cade Winter. Someone else, by the way, welcome to the chat, Cade Winter. Maybe you already were here. I'm not sure. Um, Lost Legacy, the amount of bomb jokes and conflating Indians, people from Pakistan. Yeah. Yeah. The comments about terrorism when it comes to Muslims is something. So when I would have a student do that, nothing would quite throw me into a rage like that. Okay. Uh, This, for those people in chat who know some Muslims, um, basically, like, the whole religion is about peace. Okay, now, obviously, I'm exaggerating. There's different interpretations of things. My point is like, yeah, it's gross. It's really, really gross to talk about terrorism in Islam. By the way, there are Christian terrorists. The Ku Klux Klan are Christian terrorists. There are Jewish terrorists. There are Hindu terrorists. Every religion has terrorists, and almost always, in most cases, it doesn't have to do with the religion. It has to do with certain political circumstances that cause political radicalization. Like, for example, in the Gaza Strip, if you keep people on a small piece of land, deprive them of water and electricity, and do what the Israeli government literally called mowing the lawn, where they would just start throwing bombs into Gaza to kind of put the Gazans in their place. As these, this is actually from documents. That's why I'm using quotes. Yeah, you're going to cause some political radicalization. Okay, terrorism is mainly political. So yeah, happens in every religion. It has nothing to do with almost. I mean, yeah. So just a note there. Okay. Um, Guys, you have great comments here. I'll be honest. I got a bias against Mormonism too because the religious texts include. Yeah, I know, big brain. There, yeah. And that people with dark skin are being punished. Alan, oh, Alan, you're gonna make me cry here, Alan. Alan says my mom told me she had to hide the fact she was Muslim for a while after September 11th. Oh my. Um, Hamina, I was really angry when my football team had prayers and forced people to say words and join in, and me and my Muslim friend were very sad. Yeah. Ooh. That is enraging to me. Henry G, with ICE out, my family started to hide again. Uh, Again, yes, again. They send my cousins to shop for food. Yeah, folks, we cannot forget what's happening right now with ICE, the fascist pigs who are going out and just picking up people, grandmothers, children, and throwing them into camps. Yeah, Henry G. I think we all support you here. You should join our Discord. We might be able to get some more support for you there, if you need some or whatever the case may be. You may not, uh, Promethean Rebel. You can't corner a people and expect them to lay down and take the abuse and horror. I could not phrase this better, Promethean Rebel. You cannot corner people and expect them to lay down and take the abuse and horror you're dishing out. Eventually, they will fight back as they should. Who was it in chat yesterday who said, respect existence or expect resistance? 100%. Hamina says again, my friend hid that he was Egyptian because of Islamophobia and instead went by Mexico and was still made fun of. Yeah, it's everywhere. Islamophobia is everywhere. Modern day brown shirts, 100% lost legacy. Um, Oh, I know, Alan. Yeah, and also it's just moronic, folks. Alan W says the prices of vegetables have gone up over 30%. Yeah, and folks, we might end up having a food shortage, like a classic Soviet Union style famine because of ICE, these brown shirts going to these farms and removing immigrants from them. So there's no one to pick the crops. Anyway, moronic all around. Okay, good luck, Alice. Good luck playing around with your not playing around with, but playing nice with your MAGA in-laws. Are they really using retina scanners? That's crazy, ride the skies. Okay, folks, let's continue with this. It's important that my child's school instills religious values. Strongly disagree. No, thank you. Um, yeah. Sex outside of marriage is usually immoral. Strongly agree. I have a strong opinion on this, folks. Human beings, we are pre-programmed to engage in sexual activity, um, and um, yeah, I think we way over police sexuality in that way. I think it's a human thing, and I understand that there's a lot of cultural values, religious values related to um, uh, sexual behavior. But I don't think it's immoral to engage in any kind of sexual behavior as long as it's done consensually. That is your choice as an adult, and it's only human. Okay. Um, okay. So I strongly disagree that sex outside of marriage is immoral. And now, of course, this gets more complicated. Like if you're in a marriage and you're, fooling around or whatever, that might not be exactly. I don't know about that. Okay. Um, okay. Let's continue. A same sex couple in a stable, loving relationship should not be excluded from a possibility of adopting children. Strongly agree. Okay. Maybe you got a personal bias there, but obviously, by the way, there are a lot of children out there that still need parents. There's a lot of children in the foster system, a lot of children up for adoption. I don't think we don't have the luxury to, prevent same-sex couples from adopting children. And even then, why would you want to? Okay, they're human beings; they can raise a child just as well. Yeah. Pornography, oh geez, am I going to get this stream? Depicting consenting adults should be legal for the adult population. Oh yeah, I agree. I strongly agree with that. It needs to be ethical, though. We need to make sure that the people involved in creating that content are well treated, especially the women, because sometimes they are very abused or trafficked or whatever. So I mean, if you're an adult, you want to go look at something like that, more power to you. We just need to make sure it's done ethically. Um, yeah. Okay, in my opinion there. Um, Again, I'm a liberal socialist, so I want people to be free to do what they like as long as it's done ethically. What goes on in a private bedroom between consenting adults is no business of the state. I strongly agree with that. Folks, go have fun, if you know what I mean. Okay, whatever you want to do, as long as there's consent involved, and you're responsible about it, obviously, so no one gets hurt. I mean, well, some people like to get hurt. My point is, you can do what you want. Salmon Forest, I understand so Salmon Forest says. Um, uh, Porn should be banned. A lot of abuse in porn. Yes, there is. So that is why I sort of added on there if it's done ethically, right? And as it is now, there is a lot of unethical pornography out there. But let me give you an example. OnlyFans, okay? A lot of the stuff that goes on in OnlyFans is done by independent creators who are not being abused or anything like that. That I think is a more ethical platform. I mean, not always, folks. Do not get me wrong, not always, but things like that are a bit more ethical. But I understand that argument, Salmon, because there are a lot of issues there that need to be addressed. Okay. Um, Thank you, Hamina. That's a good way of phrasing it. You phrased it better than I could. Independent creators like OnlyFans is ethical, but the porn industry is disgusting. I agree there. I 100% agree there. And you have to understand the porn industry is a giant. There are a lot of giant corporate entities, and they're typically very immoral to begin with. I think we need to have sort of more more grassroots pornography. How do you phrase that? Is better, in my opinion. Okay. You're right, Toya. So Toya, that's an actually Toya says also porn creates a culture of how sex should be and how it's not. You're right, Toya. That causes a lot of issues. This goes back to what I was saying before about how we need better sex education in schools, and things like that, because a lot of folks who don't know things end up getting, that's how they learn, is they watch pornography and that's what they think the world is like. I feel like there are ways to combat that. But yeah, yeah, capitalism. Yeah, the capitalized industry of any kind typically is pretty unethical. That includes the porn industry. Yes, and, goose, that is a fair point. I might need to look into that. So Goose has a good point here. Goose says, I'm sorry, Goose, okay, except independent creators on OnlyFans still prop up the industry and expose people to fetish content that gets more and more extreme. I have heard of that phenomenon where there's sort of people get driven into more and more extreme. I do not know the research on that. I will take what you say and I will look into it. That is an intro. Thank you for that. Uh, so Leia Lane, I don't think I expect that that's not what Goose is saying. Leia Lane says is a fetish inherently bad. I think what Goose is saying is that the fetish stuff can cause people to look into more and more extreme things. But yeah, I don't know. Like people can do what they want. Like people got fetishes, it happens. But but I have heard before that that might be something that does happen in the porn industry. Um, I'm sorry, Jay Shadow. What do you mean by the safe not? Uh, what am I? Did I? Could you be more specific? I think you're trying to tell me something, but I can't. Yeah. Matt Guy says, legalize sex work. Yeah, I agree. Okay, so folks, there's a joke. It's amongst historians that we all know what the oldest profession is in human history. It is sex work, and sex work will happen whether you make it legal or not. And for that sake, I think it should be legal because then it can be regulated and it'll make it less likely for the individuals involved in the sex work to get abused. Because if it's done outside of the legal system, uh, it's much more ripe for abuse. And again, it's going to happen whether you make it legal or not. So I totally agree that sex work should be legal so that it can be regulated and monitored so that the workers in those industries aren't abused. Heck, I could foresee a situation where we have sex worker unions. Wouldn't that be great? Okay. Just something to think about. Okay. Okay. Okay, let's continue here. No one can feel naturally homosexual. Strongly agree. I feel naturally homosexual. Okay, I'll tell you what. Uh, so yeah, yeah, that's literally a natural biological thing. There are thousands of species that do the same thing. We happen to be one of those species. All the science shows it is still unclear. There's multiple factors that may contribute to someone being homosexual. Okay, but what is for certain is that it is decided before the age of 3. So whether or not it's mainly genetics or whether or not it's mainly the hormones in the womb environment, whatever it may be, there are multiple perspectives, but all scientists agree it is established before age 3. And I don't know about you, but I don't think anyone under the age of 3 is making a conscious decision to do that. It is natural. Okay, that's what happens. Um, yeah. Okay, obviously, I feel like by now and in 2025, we should all know that, right? Yeah, you're right, Jay Sato. Legalized sex work also helps stop human trafficking, okay, which can result in death, amongst other things. So, okay, these days, openness about sex has gone too far. Now, I'm not sure what they mean by this. I'm going to say strongly disagree because I don't think we're open enough in a lot of ways. Now, if they're referring to like the sexualization of minors, which there is a lot of that. And that might be a more conservative view of mine. I get really sick of seeing what is promoted for like minors and things like that in terms of I don't want to go into it because we're on YouTube. I'm sure you know what I mean in terms of images that are out there and on YouTube and stuff too. But I think we need to be more open about it because as we demonize this and we put it in a corner, people won't know as much about it and they'll act less responsibly. It's something that needs to be talked about more. It is a basic human function. And yeah, okay. Um, let's okay, here we go. This is the last one. We'll see where I stand on the political spectrum. Please don't crucify me after this. Yeah, like beauty pageants for minors, I think that's disgusting. I don't understand why a parent, I no offense, I mean, well, maybe offense. I don't know why a parent would do that. All right, here we go. Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Blah, blah, blah. Let's get to it, folks. My political compass. Boop. Oh, hey. Okay, I'm actually much more left than I was, I think, the last time I took this. There we go, folks. So I am way down in the libertarian left corner, which is, oh, thank God, that's kind of what I wanted. Uh, um, yeah, I agree. Consent should be taught very early. Okay. And we also need children to be able to identify when they have been assaulted because, um, yeah, uh, I have been radicalized. Hey, I feel like I have been radical for a while, but I am down here in the corner, folks. Yay, Alan! Yay! Okay, born this way. Yeah, there you go. I was born this way. Okay. Anarchist, yeah, basically. So this would be sort of the, I believe this would be like the anarchist left or the, yeah. And now anarchy, folks, for those who don't know, anarchy does not mean a like society where there's like complete chaos and stuff. The idea here is that if people cooperate and work together, you can have a structured society without a top-down government. Now, honestly, I don't believe in that. I think you need some sort of, we might have some left infighting here. You need some sort of state in the modern era because of there's just a massive population. But yeah, generally though, I agree with those principles. Welcome, comrade. Yes, Big Braden. Uh, yeah, right. Thank you, Big Braden. It makes me laugh too, and people um, think the anarchy is like just setting stuff on fire and stuff. Okay, exactly abolition of hierarchy. Where's the naughty corner? So we got is I am actually kind of I'm kind of happy about where I got here. Who I know you can. There's a way to see what political figures are nearby. Oh, let me see here. Ooh, where is this? I should be able to find this. I would bet I'm not near many people because there are not that many political figures in that section of the political spectrum. Da, 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 da. Oh, maybe it's not on here. Well, what's this? Okay, I mean, you don't need to see it, but regardless, um, hey, that's fine, folks. Like, and again, remember these compasses are not particularly accurate. It's just kind of a it's just a tool, right? It's not scientific or anything. Okay. So, folks, if we get 5 more super chats, I will put on Jester makeup for those that are in the stream. Please like the stream if you have not already. That helps promote my content. And I'm all about self promotion now, apparently, for the sake of surviving. And if you'd like to, if you'd like to become a member, you can become so on my page. Click the join button for as little as 99 cents a month, or go to the Patreon and support me for $5 a month. Uh, why is North Korea up there? Mm, yeah, so some of this stuff is kind of messed up. North Korea, actually, they might be that they should be there. I would put them even closer to the top because they are massively authoritarian. And the government has complete control over the economy, and they believe in a state. They're definitely not anarchists. That actually might be a good spot for North Korea, to be honest. Uh, Yeah, no, you're right. And so anything up here is authoritarian, Matt Big Braden. So if you're up here, you're authoritarian. You have an authoritarian government with probably a single leader. Um, and then, so yeah. Alan W., I suspect, and again, I am not defending this because this is all theoretical stuff, but China does have some private companies. Now, they're greatly regulated by the state, but they do have some capitalist enterprises. North Korea does not. Okay, they are all state-owned. I'm guessing that might be why they're farther to the left. Okay. Oh, what did Leia Lane say? I wanna see what she said. I see people mentioning it. Yeah, Ley Lane. So, thanks a good so Ley Lane says, "It's a slippery slope to start banning pageants because what is banned next? I don't like them, but people use them for college scholarships and stuff." So first, I would say, Ley Lane, we should make college universal. We should make it so people don't have to pay for college like many European countries. We should do that. That would solve partially that problem. Second of all, hey, teenage pageants, maybe that's okay, I don't know, but I'm really talking about little children, doing beauty pageants. Um, Something just really, really bothers me about that, and I feel like if you were to get rid of those, there would still be college stuff. You could still use it as scholarships for college and stuff. We just wouldn't have those younger pageants. Yeah. Um, yeah, there really isn't wealth distribution. So this is why this is flawed, right? Big brain, you're very smart. Um, Elaine, Kate, so does dance moms, but do we eliminate dance for kids too? Mm, I don't know enough about dance moms because but I don't know. Maybe just the pageants. I would have to look more into that, Lane. Uh, I will say, Lane, this may be the first time that we've had some disagreement. I love it. So I'd like to know your perspective on this, Lane. Yeah. Okay. So that was kind of fun, folks. All right. I like doing that. So all right, I'm going to go back to face screen here for a second. I'm still going to be on here for a little while, so I'm not getting off at the moment. I'm just going to go back to face screen so we can chat a little bit. All right. What is the? Oh yes, cancel. Okay. Let me go back to this. All right. All right. There you can see me now. Hello. Hey. Hey, folks. All right. Um. Second here. Let me come back to the chat. Okay. Whew. Thank you, Long Beach Dragon, for sending me that. Um, Death died today. Your power went out? I'm sorry to hear that. Um, yeah, that's something else we need to change in this country. We need to decommodify electricity. They've done that in other countries. Basically, these electric companies have monopolies over the power system, and you can't often choose who the electric company is, which gives them no motive to improve their lines. And they definitely don't have a motive to improve their power lines against climate change and things like that. Ask California, ask Texas, okay. And it causes lots of disasters, such as wildfires and things like that. So, something as basic as electricity, I believe, should be decommodified and nationalized. That's my opinion. I know that's a left wing position. I think that for sure. Okay. Um, I agree. We need free public college. Oh, it didn't go out unexpectedly. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Death died today. We need free public college. Hey, more power to you, Lane. If you're a cheer mom, do you? Okay. I mean, I'm not. I'm just saying like yeah. Okay. I don't know much about cheer mom, so I won't comment on it. But more extreme. Hey, that's fine. That's fair, Lane. Um, yeah. We got a new person. Volatide says, "Do you think people are generally waking up to the idea? Yeah, we should privatize. Yeah, we need to also decommodify oil 100%. Well, first we need to stop using oil, but then second, if we don't, we need to decommodify. Okay, Volatile, do you think people are generally waking up to the idea of left wing politics? I do. I really do. I've seen more and more people kind of more and more left wing ideas becoming more mainstream. I think a lot of people are starting to realize it. And now that doesn't mean it's turning into power for the left. We need more power. But it is there's definitely a lot more people starting to look at left wing ideas and realize that they are the best option we have. 100% death die today. Hello, Volatile. Oh, Louise is back. Hello again, Louise. All right. So, Totally agree with that, folks. Again, folks, if we get 5 more super chats, I will put on the Jester makeup. I did want to what else did I say we would do today? I have in here, Discord review, political compass. Okay, we could do a Discord review. Um, I'm gonna check the news real fast. God knows in this country, every 5 minutes, some new disaster seems to happen. So let's see here. News. All right, let's go to CNN first. Yeah, there's the hurricane. Mm, 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 mm. Right. We see what time is it, folks? Maybe we should. I have an idea to see here. Hey, that's fine. What do you make in Long Beach Dragon? Just curious. Um, So I will say, folks, what time is it now? It is 3:12. So how about we do this? Okay. I know I said I would do a Discord review, but as you know, I'm a liar. As all of you have known in my last live streams, I often say we're going to do more than we end up doing. One of the things you learn when you're a teacher is you should plan for a lot more things than may actually happen because who knows what'll happen. And I know I said it'd be on for a bit longer. How about we do this instead? I am going to go off for a little while here. I'll come back later, hopefully, barring some disaster, so I can maybe eat some lunch or some late lunch, I guess, on some other things, and then I will probably come back on later. We'll have more of a chill stream. Maybe I will partake of the devil's lettuce. I don't know. So we will do that, folks. Is anyone any last comments from anyone here? If you'd like to join the Discord, it is very fastly growing. Um, I deeply appreciate it. Okay. I swear, I think it was Alice Say who mentioned a few days ago. Um, yeah, no, Leia Lane, actually, Leland, that's a good point. Leia Lane says, according to the people who participate, I know I did, Jay Shadow. Don't point it out. I lied yesterday. I said I'd come back on. Something came up though, and I had to go deal with it. Um, okay. All right. Yeah, thank you, Shut, for putting up the Discord link. Leia Lane said, according to people who participate, it's not just beauty. It's just not beauty. It's not just beauty. I do think there's corruption, but yeah, that is fair, Leia Lane. I do. That's a fair point there. Okay. Um, all right, you guys. Okay, guys. So let me do my last little. You know what's coming. You all know what's coming. Okay. So as always, folks. Okay, here we go. And make sure I got everything set up here. Right. All right, folks. So here we go. Never stop resisting. Okay. Never stop resisting. The easiest way you can resist the fascist moment we're living in is to think for yourselves. And that includes when you watch me. Okay. I make mistakes. I am human. You should not take everything I say for granted. The easiest way you can resist in the fascist moment is to think for yourselves, including when you're watching me. Um, the best way to fight fascism, okay, is to seek major reforms in a society. Fascism is caused when people are alienated from a society, they feel the democracy is no longer working, they turn towards more radical means, and they become economically and they feel economic precarity. We need major reforms in this country. You cannot stick in the center. If you stick in the center, nothing will change. Things will get worse over time. Okay. That's how you fight fascism, major reforms. On the wall behind me here, okay, you see Chainbreaker. Chainbreaker is a sword from the Civil War. It has been in my family, God knows how long. It is said that it's responsible for killing at least 7 slave owners. I put it back here to remind people that many people have died fighting for some of the things we have today. Yes, I know I'm a socialist. I'm not rah, rah, rah America. I do believe in the sacrifice of the people of the past, though, who have done things like free chattel slaves and give us some of the freedoms and rights we have today. And that includes everywhere over the world. There have been people fighting for rights everywhere. We cannot forget their sacrifice. We cannot let our society go back to a time before their sacrifice. At the same time, we need a better future, so we can't stop fighting. All right? We all got that? Okay. So, folks, on that note, I will come back on later. Hopefully. Okay, I know I'm a liar, but I will probably come back on later. You all have a good afternoon until I come back on. Have a good night, day, afternoon. Free Palestine, 100%. Absolutely free Palestine.